I'm just in awe of the universe. I wish that I had an accurate one. What do you guys think of all of those models?
I don't even need an accurate one myself, but you know, that's up to each person if they really need that. It's
we're trying to figure it out, and you know, the Gleason's map is the closest to what we observe. Could it be something else? Very possible. But somebody in the chat mentioned it, and there's a topic we want to talk about, and we've talked about it before, but we're just going to bring it up because there's a bunch of people that don't quite understand how direction could work on a circle map, right? So, like, if you believe the map, if the world map was a rectangle, up is north, down is south, east is right or left, west is right or left, how does that work? How do you end up when you on the bottom?
Oh, sorry.
It doesn't work. So on the flat map, on the circle map, we have our magnetic. We can agree that our magnets point towards a magnetic point, right?
For somebody that's coming but's not sure about that laughs at flat earth in the beginning or that has never heard of it before, it's just good to show all of these models with the globe model, right, so that they could say people just don't know shit, like they just don't know. So how can you say in depth, right, you know, for sure that
which is the trick, which is the trick that they use.
Yeah, let's say we don't know if it's a circle map or the rectangular map, but on a ball south of the equator, you'd have to turn to the left when you're heading west to maintain your longitude, to maintain your direction. I just want to get it right. the North Pole
Correct.
is magnetic, and that's why magnets point to them, right?
Correct.
So if let's say all of us were right at the North Pole, and we all had our backs to each other, and we all walked out 10 paces in different opposite directions, all of those directions are south.
Correct.
Okay. Now that's the same on a globe also. If we were all on a globe and we had our back to the center and we all walked away, we're all walking south and we'll end up in Antarctica. On a flat map, it's the same thing. South is, by definition, the opposite direction of north. Okay.
So when okay, good.
Yeah. So go ahead. You want to? I'll continue, but you go first.
No, I just have this question about east and west being circles, because I still think that people think that's a concept that Flat Earth introduced when it's the way that the world works anyway.
Right. And anyone that doesn't understand that, get a globe, get a ball.
Want me to bring up Google Earth?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Well, no. We've seen that. I want people to do it with a physical globe.
Ain't nobody stopping. Ain't nobody stopping. And we are live, everyone. I'm Jason, the host of Awake Souls, joined by the co-host with the most, the limitless one, Ronnie Harris. How are you doing, brother?
I'm great. I'm really happy to be here tonight. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. We give the best Flat Earth. We're going to give you some Flat Earth stuff. Get ready for your trick counters. Get your screenshots out. We're going to take it up a whole other level. Jeran decided to go into Flat Earth proofs and stuff on his public, maybe truther show. So we did say that if he was doing things publicly, we would cover it. So it gives us the perfect opportunity to expose and show you how absolutely ridiculous anyone thinks that they live on a circle AE map is. Just how stupid and brainless, and how it easily exposes that somebody is either monetarily invested and or doing something purposefully to lead people astray, right? We're here for the truth. We're absolutely going to smash it out. Not only are we going to totally destroy Jeran's and David Weiss's fake Flat Earth model, we're going to show you one that actually works. We're going to show you all the steps and everything that you need to know, basically, on how you could map out our reality, so to speak, in a video game type reference. So I'm really excited for tonight, and this is going to be fun. I'm not angry. Jason, how are you feeling tonight, man?
No, I'm in a good mood because we come in with such crazy overstanding on the entire topic. So one of the things that people are probably expecting out of us is for us to have some big ooh moments as far as the transformer aspect of this has to go, right? So just want to start right off in the beginning, letting everybody know that's a sideshow. That is a sideshow. There is a reason why we got into this entire calling out all the fake flat earthers, the ones that promote the AE map model, right? It had nothing to do with gender at all in the beginning. It had to do solely with the fact that it was debunked that the sun, moon, and stars were doing circles around a single polar point. So that right there that's where the pick point goes in the ground, and we're not moving from that point because we have all the evidence to back it up. The Earth has two polar rotations. That would be two, right? Everybody wants to look for hand signs. Two polar rotations. I just want to emphasize it. Two polar rotations. And that is going to be gone through so many times tonight. We're going to be going through the map. We're going to be showing people how it works. We're going to be showing the debunks of the AE map model. Keep in mind, this is something we've been doing for 4 years, people. So what you are getting is just refined, concentrated fire when it comes to debunking this model. It's absolutely incontrovertible. We're going to show you ways to debunk this model that each and every one of you, with this slightest ounce of effort, can debunk yourself. It's not hard.
Yeah, like an advanced 10-year-old. could sit through the presentation and they'd be able to say, yeah, well, it definitely, we don't live on that shape. I got to address something in the chat. A channel by the name of Tony Starna Mardano is my bitch. So I don't know if this is Tony or if it's Tim Osman or some troll. All I know is that Tony Starna guy is absolutely MIA. He was supposedly here to protect the people. He was like this crazy man
the children
who attacked my mom, said vicious lies about Jason and I and my mom. If that's him, all I can say is you're an absolute fraud. You didn't call out any of the stuff that we exposed. I'm not getting angry tonight. Like I said, I'm in way too good of a mood tonight.
Well, I just want to remind people that Mac Parhar, rest in Mexico with margaritas, called out Tony Starna as being J-Trick, right? So
yeah.
At no point have we ever found any evidence to go against what Mac Parhar, rest in peace in Cancun with margaritas, right? So
yeah. They're probably tuned in tonight, right? I believe Rob will make it. Well, I don't know if we'll show all the parts where they show the models. So let's just set this up a little bit. So in this podcast, David absolutely admits the truth, right? Throws in little slices of truth while completely lying about everything else in the entire video. He's got this screen that he put up that he shines a flashlight behind, and bada bingo, he says you live on an AE map. That's the way that goes. And we've got, I want to give a shout out to Alex Stein, the only one on the other side of the team that had enough balls to make a response video to us, right? It was weak, but at least he did, and he accepted it and said, keep covering me. So unfortunately, there's nothing that you've done too satanic since we started covering you that needs to be covered. But we are watching. And if you're a double cross agent, I would say double cross right now, get away from the other team. You're headed on the wrong path. But anyways, so yeah, Alex did do a cover of our video, actually put the video up, our words. I thought that was great. He's got more balls than Jeran, more balls than
I liked the way he recognized the way we recognized what it was that he was serving up, because he was like, whoa, he was a little taken back by that. He's like impressed with it. So yeah, we saw that you were impressed with it, and we're impressed that you were impressed with it. So we're all impressed with the way we're impressing each other right now, because apparently we're communicating on a level that just goes right over the heads of so many people. But we see what you're doing. We see what everybody else you're associating with is doing. And when you spew your bullshit, it's really easy to make sense of it and show people the actual narrative, the perspective, the paradigm of reality that you're operating from to make such comments. So when we do that, it exposes that you're on the wrong team. And like you said, maybe you're a double agent. Well, if you are, you got to make a move it's going to get you off the team that loses. So that's the same words to everybody that might think that there's some sort of double agent and you're going to flip the last second. Well, at some point you have to jump off the train. You literally have to jump off it.
Yeah, before it goes over the edge. So there's also some alpha hydrogen telescope talk tonight, right? From Rose. You got to have this special telescope, and then when you turn that thing on, apparently you can see two suns, right? So, and Boeing does have a patent on the sun simulator, right? Or is it NASA? I can't remember.
Was it like Bosch and Lohm, or is it like an eyeglass company that has the sun simulator? It's like the lens manufacturer. Mm-hmm. Sun simulator. So everybody, if you're going to project the path of the sun, right, it goes in an arc in a radius around you. That means that if we're going to talk about sun simulators, you would literally have to be sitting on the sun simulator as it's projecting that arc around you in order for it to work. Couldn't be done from any other location because it's projecting a radius around you. So that would require a lot of sun simulators, and since everybody would have to be sitting on each one of them, it's not going to work. So,
the other thing that I wanted to bring up, just before we get into the screen shares and stuff is, I might have misspoke a little bit in the last podcast, but what I was trying to say was that Jason and I are here to witness to the truth, right? We came into the world to be representatives of what we call truth and what is the truth. And that we know that we're not looking for the most righteous people in the world, because Jason and I are both sinners. Right? We're actually looking for people that have good hearts. So I spoke in the last podcast, and I might have made a bit of a mistake somebody misconstrued my words. And what I was saying was, I don't care if you smoke cigarettes, if you drink beer. I don't care that you haven't had the best life. You're not the perfect person. To me, you know, the most important qualities that someone could have is a righteous heart. You want to be better. And you're someone that's standing up and fighting for truth. And you're not perfect. And maybe you've never really given the scriptures a full try. You know, maybe you were explained wrong. Because what we've exposed is that the modern day Christianity and the churches have all been led by the enemy. And they've subverted all the truth, taken away all the books, and hid the true messages that leads people to confusion. And what Jason and I have dedicated our lives to is putting those things back together, weaving the full garment, whether it be, you know, there were so many books that were taken out. And again, we're not looking for the most righteous, you know, perfect people. It doesn't even exist. We're looking for people with good hearts to join the team. The invitation was sent out long time ago. And to me, it's nice that we do have a small group of people that do get it. And that's what precious means, right? Precious, something that's precious. You don't have 8 billion of them. So I know that there's some tough times we've been going through, and there's tough times ahead. And I just want to let everybody know that if you have a good heart and that you want to be better, you know, the Father's already changing you. And soon we're going to be either resurrected, right, or reincarnated into the kingdom, right? Or we're just going to walk right in this life. We won't have to taste death this time. And yeah, again, you know, if anyone out there, that if you haven't really understood the story, it's pretty basic. There's the creator made a son, he sent him here, and the son had to be killed and then resurrected again as a sign that the Father loved the world so much that he would do that with his own son. He would allow that to take place in the game. But through this, actually brought the chance for everybody to be reincarnated, because he came here teaching, first you must be baptized. You have to be reborn through the water, which is a parabolic symbol for the womb. Inside the mother's womb is a sack of water. That's how we were grown and born into this simulation. And we're saying the same thing now, that the people back then weren't perfect. The disciples, there was roughly 140 or 144 of them 2,000 years ago, following the Christ, the King of Kings. And they weren't perfect. There's constant chastisement and error, and they wanted to fight and this and that. So I just want people on the other side of the screen to just, you know, sometimes it's good to just give yourself a little bit of a break. Just be thankful that you're here and that you're a good person, and stop trying to weigh everything out, because we're in some serious times. Jason, I'm going to throw it back to you. We've got some interesting stuff coming up as well in the story that's depicted across the sky. So Daniel Vallis put out another video around the sign that we were talking about, that Jason called out as what very well could be the white rider on the horse with a bow and a crown. So I'm going to throw it back to you. What do you think about what could be happening parabolically in the heavens?
Oh, yeah. So I'm going to try to lock on to the thought that I was waiting to come with, and then I'm going to try to respond to the question.
Go back to your thought.
So as far as the timeline's concerned, that has to do with what's coming up this Sunday, right? So we have tomorrow the great eclipse. It's going to be a total solar eclipse that's immediately following a blood moon. So we've been following this. We've been showing how in the scriptures that great day of the Father takes place after the sun is darkened and the moon turned to blood. So that's happening. Tomorrow is the darkening. That's the total solar eclipse. So that's a new no moon. That is a no moon day. That's only when the only time that you're ever going to have a solar eclipse is on a no moon day. So the fifth, which is Sunday, which is when we're going to be live, is when we're expecting the new moon sighting. So as the sun goes down on the 5th, right, we are going to be watching for the new moon sliver just above the horizon. And then we showed everybody in the last stream what's taking place at that time. That new moon sliver is in the bow of what looks to be like the white horse rider shooting at the scorpion at the foot of Ophiuchus, and then over in like in the
next sign.
The next sign we've got
Venus. Venus is also in the White Horse Rider.
That's
as well.
true.
And then
nobody's
continue on
talking
to the
about
next
that. Just us.
No. There's another sign. You get the water bearer with Jupiter on his waist, and he's pouring out the water, which is the living water of life, right? That's the parable in the scriptures. We've also got that taking place at the same time, as well as the Sirius star that's been rising with the 7 stars, the 7 churches likened unto it, or the bride of Christ. They've been rising together since, I think he brought up the video in October, but that is coming to a completion at the same time. So the Sirius is the king of the fixed stars. It's the star above all the other stars, and when we actually measure the amount of time that it travels through the night sky, it's called Sirius. And we've seen that the occult have tried to take it, and they try to occult it and everything else. But we can show you what it actually is, or what we believe it is. Again, sometimes Jason and I will tell you things, and if we don't know for 100% sure, we will be the first ones to say, if we say anything that's wrong, we would love for people to correct us. We come out and speak publicly, and we don't hold punches, because we want to know if we make mistakes. We've made corrections, right? Publicly. We've done this over and over again. But I guess I'll just take it back to the things that are happening in the sky right now is absolutely astonishing. For me, as someone personally watching the realm unfold the way that it is, I can't be more like childlike. I feel like it's a great mystery that's just scrolling across the sky, and we get to look at the pictures, and we have all this technology to aid us. So it's just a joyful thing for me. I'm super excited, even though what might be coming upon the earth is super destructive. Right? This is going to be the craziest time in the 6,000 years. Well, I mean, the flood was pretty bad, right, Jason? I'm going to throw it back to you because I'm ranting.
That's all right. Yeah, so the other thing that I wanted to just touch upon, because you went into a topic related to morality and righteousness. And there's 2 different things going on there that I just want to really make distinct and clear to everybody. So Ronnie is saying that, the beer drinkers, the pot smokers, people that use coke on the occasion, these types of things are things that people have the ability to control within morality that they don't allow it to affect their lives, right? It doesn't affect the way they talk to others. It doesn't affect the way they operate on a day-to-day basis. They do fine like that. So there's morality. The scriptures talk about different things as being sins. Morality and sins are tied together. Now, one of the things that I want to differentiate is righteousness. So righteousness is actually the act of not lying, cheating, stealing, or harming. These types of wicked behaviors. So there's a differentiation. So Noah was considered to be the most righteous man, yet after the flood and he had his first batch of wine, he got drunk. We all read it in the scriptures. And so there's a differentiation between morality and righteousness. So did what Noah do? Did he lie, cheat, steal? Did he harm someone? Did he do anything wicked? And no, he passed out. Then when he sobered up, he remembered what had happened, and then we know how things went down.
Yeah, I mean.
So morality and righteousness are 2 different things, and righteousness is one of those things that you get to start making choices, choice by choice by choice. From this point right now, going forward, every single choice that you make, I'm just going to tell you, don't lie, cheat, steal, or harm, and see how many choices that you can make before you break the string. And think of it like a Mortal Kombat combo, where you're like boom, 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 and you're getting all these combo extra points, bonus, boom, boom, boom. It's like a pinball machine. You're just going, the counter is just spinning as you make choice after choice where you don't lie, cheat, or steal. And then when you finally slip up and make a mistake, look at that score and then start playing again. All right, see if you can beat that score.
And it's funny, the small things that actually catch you, right? You'd be surprised. And it's a great practice.
So what do you think, brother?
Well, the one thing that I would just say on top of that is that making the right choices And so it's not like the line of coke that you snort that's bad. It's like you go and get in a fist fight or something after you do it, or you harm somebody or yell at somebody. It's not like drinking the beers. It's what actions do you do after you drink the beers, right? So it's not what we take in that defiles us. It's what we put out. So if you've got a bridle on the things that you're saying and doing and how you treat people, if you're cautious, if you're, retrospectively always looking back at your choices, there's a good chance that you're a super righteous person, right? Whether or not you've sinned, right? And the whole thing of sin, which was done away with again by the Christ that I told you about, his death and resurrection, it was a symbol. When the creator said to them, do not eat from this tree, right? The law was born right there. That was the law. And they broke it. And he was nailed to a tree, right? And he became fruit off the tree, because now if we believe in that, he's willing to teach us the rest. He puts it in our hearts, right? So I just want everyone to know that all you have to do is just be, wanting to be more righteous is the first step. Like Jason said, the next choice that comes into your life, just see how many right ones you can make. And like Jason said, you can get to a point where it gets super magnified. You just glow. You just walk around all blissed out. And then again, if we're in a time of fighting and war, you should be wanting to get supernatural hit points against the enemy. That's another thing that righteousness can cover unto, right? We should be out here fighting, telling truth, calling out the lies and deception, speaking up against all the injustice everywhere. Yahawahashai was not quiet. He went into them and flipped the tables off, whipped them with a whip, kicked everyone out of the temple, right? That's what we're about. And tonight we're going to be doing a little bit of that, but it's going to be about the shape and the reality of our world. Did it work? It's fine. We're good. I could have kept talking, but I mean, you've made the one mistake. It's fine. Because we're going to have to do a little bit of on the fly manipulating of the scenes later when we get into my screen shares. But you're the one who's going to start off the screen shares tonight. We're going into the Baby Truther show again, even though this time we're not going in looking.
Yeah, that's the problem. Is people got a lot of thick skull.
Ridiculousness of their stupid model. Again. What is it, like 888 times this time or something? Okay, I have seen the chat go by. It looks like everybody was having fun. Now let's get into some seriousness, right? Jason was muted. Are you muted now, Jason? Someone's saying you're muted.
I shouldn't be muted now.
Mm-hmm. Well,
can you hear me?
I can hear you clearly.
All right.
So, unmute, Jason. You guys just hearing my voice? I'm sorry. He'll get it fixed as soon as he sees it on his board. That screen share. They're still waiting. I don't know if people realize that you're unmuted. They're still saying you're muted. Are you showing up your mic on the OBS? What was that other one? Mm-hmm.
This should be.
Yeah, you're going through the broadcast. All good now. You're good. Maybe they just glitched you out.
Yeah, I don't know.
You're good now. How's the volume? 5x5. We're good? Okay. Yeah, his daughter says we're good. We are good to proceed. You've got the con.
So what we've got here is...
Actually, you do have caught the con. Sorry, I just wanted to correct myself.
So what we have here is another Baby Truther show. And so we were told that this was going to be taken off of YouTube. It wasn't going to be free anymore. Jeran broke his word and he put it out publicly, and we said that the stuff that you put out publicly we're going to cover. Now, the aspect of this that we're covering is we're going to be showing you how the Freemason New World Order AE map model doesn't work. We're going to point out a few other psyops going within this, but this is not going to be explicit coverage of all the nonsense that's going on here, because too much of it is just stupid and not worth covering. So we've got some timestamps to go through tonight, and then what we want to do is go into modeling programs, and we want to show you how this is really working. So as we go through this, we're just going to play it by ear and get into the modeling. And if there's questions, if there's comments coming through in the chat that are relevant to this, we're going to have them directed towards us so that we get a hold of them and we can do the modeling while it's all up here. But this is going to be tonight about showing how the Freemason New World Order AE Mappa model, which is a circle, that is its downfall. It doesn't matter how you arrange the continents.
I can get it close.
The fact that it's a circle is where it fails. And we're going to be showing that. So
yeah, you nailed it.
So we're just going to get into this here. I have a timestamp at 5:33, and this has to do with David's background. So I'm going to actually make this bigger here so people see a little bit better. Jump ahead to 5:33.
Get this going. Let's get into this.
Everything's so perfect in Hawaii.
Cool.
Nothing ever happens that's just like
I already need to
hard
pause.
to deal with.
One thing that I don't understand is why do they have the thumbnail with her bent over the screen like that? Like, okay, are they just trying to troll me and Jason, or people that are like, don't want to look at that stuff? So, I want to say shout out to Yahawah's daughter. I was raised to not degrade women in any way. So I'm different than most people, right? I didn't have women posted up, pinned up on my walls. They're like mothers that we don't need to be, and daughters. So sometimes it's fine to look good or whatever, but the whole suggestion that they've got this chick bent over in the screen like this, and then behind it says the baby truthers, and then they're all it's just gross. I have to bring that up now as we continue because it's going to get funny. But that, Jason, didn't it just annoy the crap out of you too? And you Jehovah's Witnesses, you're not allowed to do anything the way you were raised, let alone my story.
Yeah, no, that's
you couldn't even have like a Led Zeppelin CD. You'd be disemboweled from the group.
That's a whole different story right there. So I'm just waiting for this. Make sure that this is refreshing on the live stream.
It should be good. Are you just making sure that it's playing through?
Well,
see, Kelsey, how's it going?
Oops.
No, something's not right. I don't see it playing out of OBS here. I'm going to do a little refresh quick.
Mm-hmm. And they always got to mess with us. It's like we have top of the line equipment. We've been doing this for years and years, but yet they still got to come and mess with it. Switch the OBS scenes. Whatever it is that they can do.
That's the problem. Is people got a lot of thick skull.
When ICANN took over, they said, we're going to throttle content that we don't agree with. We're going to make it so nobody wants to watch.
All right. So what I'm looking for here is David Weiss is going to change his background in just a second.
Calling out CGI.
To your right, my left, we've got Dave Weiss. Dave, welcome to the show. How are you?
What's going on, guys?
How you been?
Glad to be here.
What is supposed to be in your background? You don't have
oops, my background. Sorry about that.
To your right.
What is going on?
He missed his moment.
No,
Jeran had to remind him.
Do you see his background is gone right now?
It's black.
Yeah, this is the section right now that had him with a surfboard.
What?
Yeah.
I'll keep playing it. You just don't have the time right yet.
No.
Still there, or you just missed it.
No.
We've got Kelsey.
Oh, there it is. There
we go.
I'm sorry. Here's the clip. So it starts at 5:25, and I'm going to zoom in on this.
Everybody get you a good look at the games these guys play. I think you can also zoom with
Why is it
trackpad.
showing such a delay on?
It's just the way that it goes.
See, Kelsey, how's it going?
It's weird.
Hey, what's up?
Anything exciting going on in your life?
All right, so I want to focus on this. It's not showing up.
Seems jacked. You know what you might have to do?
Are you seeing what's taking place? It's not.
You might have to close OBS and then reopen it again right away. I've had to do it in the past.
All right.
It doesn't kill the stream. You have like a certain amount of time.
Okay.
And we're back. That was just a quick reboot. I think it's working now. It should be.
All right. So now I got to position this. Yeah, it was not updating the way it was supposed to be, and I was trying to show everybody.
Yeah, I noticed it. It was a huge error.
This section right here. So the thing to focus on is Kelsey and David with the surfboard. Notice where we're at. We're at 5:30 in the video.
Yeah, you can go and look yourself.
All right. What you can see real clearly here is that it's the same scene, right? You've got the same surfboard. It is the same surfboard. You've got the same light. Now in David's scene, the light is off, and you can see the glass jar that the light
It's like a crystal.
is a part of. And in Kelsey's scene, you can see that the light is on, and she has the Hanukkah, right?
Right? The menorah. And she gives a shout out to Q, and she like shows the menorah on the camera, right?
All right. So it's the same mirrors, it's the same ceiling fan, but
The light's off.
Dave has the same scene in his software, right? This is
With the light off, right? Lights off.
with
no
the light
menorah.
off, and you can
So they're
see
saying
that
the
it's
menorah is illuminated, right? Ha ha ha. Yeah, right. Okay, guys.
menorah is illuminated. So
What a joke.
this is just something that we gotta call out. Dave in his background. There's
Playing games. Jeran, what's up with your background, Dave? Dave couldn't even turn the background on. He couldn't even hit his lines. That's, you know what, these people are lousy actors. Okay. like at least Alex is somewhat funny at times, and then he just takes it all gross. But at least he's funny. Dave, how did you not know to turn the background on? That was your line. You just dropped the ball. Jeran had to tell you. Like, Jeran is the handler now, Dave. Come on. You should, all your friends, you live in that, what, like $150 million mansion or whatever? Like, you can't even hit the background line? Wow.
all right. So this next scene right here is at 8:55. This is when Kelsey just sat back down. So there was a scene where Kelsey got up, walked away, and then Kelsey just sat back down.
Mm-hmm.
This has no importance to debunking all the Freemasonic New World Order AE map modelers that they all use the wrong model. It's so debunkable. We're going through that tonight. So they have this whole transformer topic that there are certain characters that we've pointed out to people, obvious things. Go look for yourself, right? But this is one of those rabbit holes that you can get sucked into. Once you go down it, then all of a sudden everybody is this, everybody is that.
Well, no, they're actually casting it out there, which she's doing with props and stuff. You guys can figure it out. We don't want to play it because it's gross, and it's the agenda to distract. Right? We've said it all along. We've called it out. We don't have to call it out anymore. It's gross. That's weak. That's the content that they want to put out. Fine.
We've said what we think it is. Go back and watch. So now let's jump ahead to 12:32 and we'll catch some Rose.
A couple of topics that we had planned.
Oh, yeah.
Rose is going to get us started with her list of models.
Right. And then that'll lead right into our
Again,
East
Jeran
West
having to do
discussion.
David's job. But Rose is going to get into some models.
Perfect.
Yeah, so we've got all the lead in, all the topics are lined up. Everybody's reading from the same notes right now. Rose is going to start us off with a bunch of models, and this is a longer clip, but stop me anywhere you want, brother.
I mean, let's do a little game here. Want to play a game? How many people in the chat think that Rose is going to show a rectangular shape map? Right? They talk, let's get into flat Earth models, right? When they specifically state the flat Earth model is not the circle AE map. That's what they say. And then they literally, okay, we'll see what you guys say in the chat. You got to get your answer out quick because Jason's going to keep playing it.
Good. I like it.
Okay,
Rose, go ahead, show
accept
us.
that.
I'm gonna
There are a couple
bring it
things I wanted to cover, but right now we're just going to do the model and then we're going to kick it over to you guys for the next thing and you
Some
can
more
come back to
Tavistock
me.
brought to
But
you by
it's time for me to
Rose
share my
777.
screen.
Absolutely.
All right, here we go. I'm going to share my screen now and open up Telegram here to where I actually send all these pictures. So here's the story.
Okay, hang on.
Austin.
We should get a plug. I don't know if someone can get the Telegram link from the chat. If it's working, I don't know if it's working, but yeah, we also do stuff at what's called @reality check, because Jason and I, which we about to do, is check your reality.
We're gonna check it hard right into the boards.
Smash you into the boards, into the glass, in front of your girl too.
Witsit from Witsit Gets It.
Yes.
It was so awesome and one of my favorite flat earthers of all time, and really
model
great.
Number 1. That's an infinite ice world with a domed circling sun and moon again inside of a dome. That's the model that they got here.
Yeah, so many problems here. So many problems. The ice wall all the way around. That means that the sun, moon, and stars are doing what? They're all circling around one single polar point. Right? Everything in here rotating would be going around one polar point, not two. And so that right there is the debunk of any circular map. Right there. That's the end. We don't really have to go any further, but let's keep going.
Debater understands all of the logical fallacies. He posted on Facebook, show me your favorite flat earth model, like a depiction of what flat earth could be, because obviously none of us know what it actually looks like. And then someone was going to pick their favorite. And I'm looking through all these models, and because of the research that I've done and things that I know, some of them I thought to myself, okay, that's more artistic. That is not an accurate depiction of what it could be. And other things I thought, I wonder what if there's merit to this idea. So I'm just going to go through them. Here's an example of one.
All right, before we get into these, I just want to remind everybody, we cannot prove that the Earth looks exactly like the stereographic map that we share. What we can prove is that the sun and moon and stars are not doing circles around a single polar point, thus demanding another polar point, which demands a stereographic map. So then it goes down to the point where you have to do the research to see what is the most accurate stereographic map. Right? But we can't prove we have the most accurate one. All we can do is prove that a single polar point, like a circle, can't work.
Doesn't work. You got two different rotations in the sky, ladies and gentlemen, right? And that's just getting my words warmed up. Wait till somebody gets the understanding, gets you understand this. You see on the screen here, this AE circle map with the dome over it. So somebody, you can't see my cursor, but somebody that's in Canada that wants to get them some pictures of the stars at nighttime, literally have to see through Russia, through the sun, and then back to the other side of the dome to get them some star trails. And guess what? That's impossible.
One, and here's another one. I think this is the winner in Austin's opinion.
Winner.
And as you can see here, there are pillars here, and I believe that there must be something biblical related to this. And so you could see this is really the baby.
So this is like, hang on, this is like getting you some what do we call it? Orange juice advice from Anthony Fauci. You come to the Church of Satan for your biblical knowledge, your biblical math. Come on.
She's calling it out. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. This one's the best because you can get you some Bible in here, right?
There's corners. It's sitting on a table, right, with more pillars, and then again, it's missing hell and everything. But anyways, again, it has the same problem that Jason brought up before. It has a single polar point and everything rotating around it when we actually have two polar points in the sky, thus demanding that we use a stereographic map.
Well, and it's got like seven portals for their nonsense. 7 wicked things to like supposedly escape from here. It's get out of town.
I don't know which demon told them to run with this one. The demon was wrong.
I know there's so many flat earthers in chat that will be like wanting to scream out right now what they're seeing is being depicted and what it's supposed to mean. But that's why I want to have this conversation.
It's absolutely not what the scriptures say. The scriptures emphatically state that there are 4 corners to the earth. And last time I checked, Rose, I don't know how advanced your geometry is, but if you check a circle, there's no corners. Sorry.
And now she's going to call this one out. This one's too fantastical, right?
Yeah.
And this, I think, is more artistic, wouldn't you say? Oh. And then here, look at this one. I remember it was West Blade.
This one's got the heavens, right? We got the Ark of the Covenant brought into this model. Ooh.
I gotta make this smaller again.
I can't wait to show you guys our models. You can compare them, okay? Remember, this is their models, okay? This is Baby Truther Show's models.
Who posted this one, and it looks like this is probably a biblical depiction, and in this biblical depiction, I like how the luminaries are being shown outside the first level of
it's not biblical.
firmament.
It's not biblical.
She's trying to debunk the scriptures, right?
She likes that. Jeran's like, no, you can't do that. It's not biblical.
Well, I mean, we showed 7 circuits or circles that travel around us on the flat Earth, right? And there were 7 different luminaries, and they all had heights to them, and they delineated like a gate, which is the same thing as a port, a spot where a ship sails between 2 points. All the sun, moon, and stars, the 7 of them that move around, have gates and ports that they come up and out of. And you can see the path. So they mix truth with lies. So the heavenly circles above are right, but the flat Earth model, what is this one? Is it on a...
What? And it's a pizza pie.
On the side of a moon?
It's a pizza pie flying in space. Here's the sun and moon right here. She said it's outside of the first heaven. So Jeran says, no, not biblical. You got these 7 angels. So this is still just a pizza pie flying in space. And we are the ones debunking that Earth has a single polar point. It has 2. Can't be doing circles. Can't.
And then over here, it looks like there's more pillar action going on than we have the angel.
Pillar
and then
action.
I suppose here it would be the Most High. And I asked them to comment. I didn't check to see if he responded, but this thing right here,
Footstool.
I'm sorry if it's not.
Oh.
It's like it's supposed to be like the Ark of the Covenant, maybe. I might be wrong, or something having to do with.
I have that. I have that barbecue.
Oh, he has that barbecue.
He's got the barbecue.
Well, give him that was a zinger, Jerry. Jerryism. Get you some.
He's got it.
You grill.
And then here,
I'd like to interject one thing. I
Okay.
thought it says the Earth's rest on pillars. So why are all the pillars seem to be in the firmament? I guess.
I think it has
That's
something to
Getting
do.
it
question.
from the Aleister Crowley team.
yeah.
Doesn't it have something to do with the fountains being opened or the sky being opened and water coming in that way?
Yeah, and that's what a lot of mud flooders.
So hold on, pause. So the fountains of the deep were opened, and the water burst forth from the water that the Earth sits upon, Jeran, and it rained down from the sky. Right. This is what we can attest to by the way that it struck certain areas on the map, as well as creating things like the Grand Canyon. But yeah, they just totally misrepresent everything that they talk about scripturally. It's funny. It's so funny.
Yeah, the rain was just part of it. That was 40
Did they get
days. It was
anything
the
right?
fountains. It was the fountains that broke forth.
Of the deep.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Because the Earth is floating on water. We're surrounded by water. The boundaries are water. You have to be reborn through what, Jason?
The water.
The water.
In the womb. Well, there's water in the womb. So I just want to point out, I mean, this surfboard, it's got the 3 hexagons, the 666 on the surfboard. This is the logo that Jeran's had on his hat. This is the logo that is popping up all over their stuff, everybody. It's these 6 hexagrams. Watch for it. They're all part of a network. We still have more in this clip.
Reference when they're talking about how it's possible, and then even Ben, he talks about the sludge in the galvanic cell theory that could explain that area of whatever this realm is.
She's going
it
into
seems
like channeling. The sledge. Like what?
like things could go through it, but not a human being, in my opinion.
Right.
This one is very biblical here, but I don't like how the middle part looks very galaxy-esque. I don't know why I'm triggered by that. What's my issue? And look at this. I don't know anything about Sheol. I really need to look into more of this and understand the differences.
She's got to look into hell more.
This is a booby.
He gets a ring for that.
She gets a ring for that. That's what she saw.
You might get your up close front picture soon of your visit, your tour.
That's what she saw.
Nickel tour, what Mark would say, get you a nickel tour. Hey Mark, you want to go with Rose 777 on your nickel tour of Sheol? And then after Sheol, it's Gehenna, right? The lake. But the Sheol one is just a big pit.
Look how it shows a nipple.
with the stairway to heaven. I mean,
it's also the Casey End of the Stars eyeball theory too, right?
It is.
Again, Again, with a single polar point with stars, sun, and moon circling around, which is absolutely against what we see in reality.
It's so crazy. It's so crazy.
No, that's an eye.
An eyeball.
Eyeball.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Get your mind out of the trash now. Get out of the gutter.
All you think about all day.
There's a fat titty right here.
Even look at this eyeball.
It is the baby
Learn
truther
nothing.
show.
Hey,
Oh.
hey, but that is a good point. You know, we can't even do
He's gross. You can keep it playing. That was disgusting. Why does David got to
They're
come
still
through with
showing
that? Remember the one spot where David was in his rant? Someone says, whatever, David Weiss is definitely, and he put the rainbow flag.
Yeah, like
We're not there yet.
We got to
We'll get
catch that.
I hope we hit that time.
We're still going through the models that this team wants to share with everybody. These are
look
the
at this
best
one.
models.
Look at these ones. We got us some pillars and some like awnings, right?
Get you some.
And we get you some AE on the bottom window. It's got the
an
gates, though.
eye, transplant and people. Perfect model of the universe. You know what I mean? Just think about that. There's a lot of stuff we can't even cure cancer.
Right.
Well,
but we
maybe
do
they
know
can.
what's going on some 75 trillion miles
Listen to
away. That's
the
easy to
straw
figure out.
man,
You just,
Alex
you just get a
comes in
tube
with-
and some glass, and you see back
Get
in
you a
time, and then you
model.
can predict what gas.
Can't even cure cancer. Come on, Alex. Come on, bro. Are you kidding me? Like, not only do we have a model of the flat plane, we also have a model that sits over top of it that has all the heavens in it. So we get you a whole map of model of the reality of the universe, which means one realm.
So this is their last one that they show. And guess what? It is the Gleasons with the stars put on a dome above it. And guess what? You only get the stars north of the equator.
These ones don't work, everybody. You're missing
The entire south. The
You're
entire
missing the
south.
whole southern sky. So from the equator down, all of South America, they don't, like, ladies and gentlemen, there's a cross that circles in the southern part of the map, right?
The ecliptic is literally on the floor here. That is the ecliptic. That is
Yeah.
it's on the floor. So everybody in the map here just has to look to the outside wall to see the ecliptic.
Again, the people that are directly across from where the sun is positioned right now would have to look through the sun, through the earth, to get themselves to the other side of the dome to see the stars. It absolutely doesn't work.
It's so bad. All right. So here's a clip that made it into the intro.
Is around those suns.
I mean, there's stuff we
Cool.
can work on every day with our hands and our smartest brains that we can't figure out here on Earth.
That one.
Yeah, we can just figure out.
What is that? What is that? Like, that looks like a tower that I've built for Shoppers Drug Mart in Canada. My second year in the journeyman trade, building buildings. You see the parapet at the top? That's the structure that you got to throw on so the roofing guys can get the roof on. So they got the parapet there. They got the arch. Nice. They got the pillars. 4 pillars on the bottom. What's that?
Shock. Well, they're actually shock
Joaquin
absorbers.
and Boaz and what, like double A? They're also no, those are called earthquake mounts.
Yeah.
Right. Get out of here with this nonsense, these guys. Here, we're going to show you the possible models or reality, and then they just show you horse penis.
Yeah, but wait until Rose comes in with her. She just wants to know the best model in the universe.
She's tuned up, right? Didn't she talk about fentanyl? She was like,
Like a lollipop or something. Yeah.
We were like, whoa, what is Rose doing today? She was pepped up today.
Got all this stuff a million galaxies away, like you said.
How
It's
much is the
unbelievable.
Earthway?
What do you think of this one?
I'll have to ask
this
Cavendish.
is conceptual.
Oh.
Let's not forget this one. What do you think of this one?
This one literally has shock absorbers in the mouth.
Literally.
He compassed the earth in a pillar of wall with shock absorbers at the footings.
So
which Bible-
anybody that doesn't know what this is Rob Skiba's terrarium.
Well, he put YHWH on there, which is absolute blasphemy too, right? I wonder if Rob's not with us. I wonder if he's paying for this one.
If not now, he will be.
I bet did him and Mac just cheers? Look at this. They're still showing my model, right?
Realized by Rob Skiba, rest in peace.
That's Skiba's.
Again, it's a
fountain
circle
one, yes.
map. Here we
That
go.
is-
This gets you. Here we go. This is where at the crux.
This is David Weiss stuff right here.
This is the triple crux. This is the 888 crux of the matter. Here's this is what we got. Okay, what the Kabbalists did was they sold people an infinite universe with big bangs happening all the time, and that you're this tiny speck of dust. Now, what we got today, we got DITRH selling you infinite pond, and then in this depiction, we're actually on a moon. So we're getting back to heliocentrism. We're in a pond on the side of a moon flying through outer space now. And that everything that the heliocentrists said is still applicable. That's what their model is that they're going to promote. And I just want to point out to everybody that it's absolute asinine. If you can't prove something, if there's no evidence of it, if you don't tangibly, physically yourself verify it, you can't take it as evidence in a court of law. It will not fly. It will not. This is the hilarious infinite pond. This one's an infinite moon crater model. Just want to say.
Yeah, and so the only thing that's missing is the bunk cake pan. Otherwise, this would be the perfect blend between David Weiss and Jeranism. If you had this and it was all bunk cake pans.
We got Land of Inception asks, it's just a concept, so we should make fun of it? Okay, we're making fun of the fact that heliocentrists are now trying to promote a heliocentric flat Earth. Right? They're trying to put us back on a ball, just in a larger one, in a pond, in another crater, beside another crater. And yes, we are absolutely going to mock everything that's a lie, everything that's put out here as so-called truth. We are going to mock it. We're not mocking these people, right? We're mocking the concepts that they're bringing forth, this ridiculousness. And we're going to show you guys why. Again, I'll repeat that we do not live in a realm with anything circling around a single polar point. It's been debunked over and over again. We're going to do it again tonight. But this takes the cake. We're still in outer space. We still got the Big Bang, and we're just in a crater here. Like, do people not see where this is going? Like, is it just me? Is it just me and Jason?
See, the idiotic thing is believing that the sun, moon, and stars are doing circles around a single polar point. That's the idiotic thing. Well, we can look at any one of these pictures, and as soon as we see it's a circle, go, well, that's stupid. And then once you add these galaxies and craters and all this other stuff, it just goes so over the top. It's like, dang.
Infinite pond theory. Get you some. The new heliocentrism.
This one looks more artistic. That's a ridiculous, but David.
Hey, here's the good thing. The good.
That's David's model. He's offended right now.
Jared said it was ridiculous. At least he's on the witness stand. He actually called it out. That's good.
The thing is that I've heard people compare Flat Earth to a cult before.
Look at this one. Go back.
That,
that was the South American film team, right?
Yeah, we covered that.
It was Iceberg.
The good thing is that
I've heard
people
comet. There we go. Now we're in outer space and we're hovering above a flat plane. It looks like, right? The stars are.
We have planes outside, but still inside the dome while you're flying in space.
Well, see, this model they tried to give an outer pond concept because Jeran says there's books where people manage to get through the ice. Yeah, Jeranism. Guess what, brother? They navigated through the Hudson's Bay too, right? They went through the ice walls. These are the books that you're reading through the Northern Passageway, right? You can do all the research you want. You can find all the books on the truth. No one has ever said there was a 60,000 mile ice wall around the earth and that they broke through one spot and found other ponds outside of it. All of that is complete nonsense.
The stories of Freemasons. Ouch.
Compare Flat Earth to a cult before, but the difference between that is if something's a cult, you have to believe what the cult believes. And we're open to believing any of these. Show me one that works. Show me one that's fun. I don't give a shit. Anybody out there who's
get your mind so far open that we can put anything down it that we want, and you're going to pay me for it.
Show me one that works. Show me one that's fun.
Show me one that's fun. Anything. Jeran wants Barabbas. He'll take anything but the truth. Okay, and he's on a truther show. And it's funny, there's someone in the chat named David Sawyer. I don't know. I think I know who this is. And it's hilarious, the narrative. So Free Energy promoted a Mercator map that has the North and South Poles skewed to infinity. As well, the sun, moon, and stars and luminaries would have to do straight paths across your projection. It falls flat on its face. We explained it to him and showed him 5 years ago. We showed him and we corrected it, right? Because Free Energy was the one who came out and said, hey, we got a problem with the AE map. He said, when you try to grid it out, it's impossible because you need to do it in pi pieces and you can't navigate through gridding with pi pieces. They have to be squared, right? Gridded. Everything in our model is square. The tropics, the equator, they're all the same length. And we're going to have a bit of a problem when we get into Jeran's map and the globe Earth map when we start talking about the length of the equator and the tropics. So just to say, Free Energy did lead the way with breaking down some AE map model debunks, but he went way offline when he started to think that everything could match the Mercator because it's skewed to infinity. It's just as bad as the AE map model.
Telling you have to believe a certain way or you can't believe a certain thing, that's a cult.
Now,
we're not here for a cult. We're here for truth. Jason and I said we joined YouTube to testify to truth, right? It's not a cult. It's not a cult because we don't care if you believe us or not. We're not mandating you to say these things, go around. People do that, and we're welcoming it. If you want to go around sharing the truth with other people, do it, right? And if we're wrong, we'll correct ourselves. But Jeran's making a similar, what do you call them when he's trying to make a parallel to a cult and someone who's looking for the truth. Looking for the truth is not a cult. It's not. It's healthy. The more of a foundation that you stand upon for your reality, your world view absolutely has a huge factor to play on who you are on the inside. So don't let Jeran or anyone else fool you any different.
All right. So I just want to point out right now that now we have a picture of crepuscular rays, and then we have a picture of the fake model down here. And Rose is going to go into discrediting crepuscular rays and is going to say that, no, this isn't proof of a local sun. They're not trustable. And we're going to do some experiment with David.
Let's hear her say it.
Jeran, I couldn't agree with you more about what you just said. And here is an example of something that I would like to discuss. Okay. This is kind of what they're trying to demonstrate here is that crepuscular rays is evidence of the luminaries being close. And I think the luminaries are extremely close, but I question whether crepuscular rays are evidence of that only because.
So everything that Rose has said has been a lie. And the one time that she goes against what she's saying, it's absolutely true. So the breadth and the width and the spread of the crepuscular rays works similarly to a shadow. It points the reciprocal of the position of the center of the sun, right? When the sun goes into the clouds, the crepuscular rays, they stop and then it goes back down, and then the crepuscular rays will shoot up through the clouds. When they're above the clouds, the crepuscular rays shoot down, and you can triangulate the sun's position from them, right? Her trying to, they want to show you screens, bunt cake, coffee cup, infinite pond realms, but when they actually put up a picture of what we can see with our own eyes out in reality, they say, oh, this is fake. Get out of here, Rose.
That's how they do it.
Are you kidding me? The first thing that comes up, oh, this is fake. Go ahead.
Accept what someone else tells me about how light operates because I haven't done that research myself, which is why I wanted to talk to David soon about an experiment I'm going to do with the sun at my house. But I think I went through all of the models. I don't have much else to say other than I just love the creativity.
Get you one of those ones. The last one was one of the worst.
Things even exist for us to look at. I'm in awe of the universe. I wish that I had an accurate one. What do you guys think of all of those models?
She wishes that she had an accurate one, and we're about to serve you one up tonight, Rose. So I hope you've got your screenshot machine ready to go because you're going to be served up the most accurate one that Jason and I dedicated our lives to finding. We didn't sacrifice anything for anything. We went straight for truth.
She wants the most accurate model of the universe. So remember, universe is a Catholic term. Jeran's a Jesuit. So there is a timestamp in here. I don't think we're going to go through it tonight where Rose talks about having gone to the Vatican.
And read, studied, right? I think Zen too, right? I don't know for sure about Zen, but she said it.
Mm-hmm. Let's keep going.
I don't even need an accurate one myself, but...
F the truth. Jeranism.com.
I don't even need an accurate one. No, we know, Jerry.
That's up to each person if they really need that.
For him. We're trying to figure it out, and
trying to figure it out. Jeran said in one other podcast, by 2200 we should have a map.
Go back to and listen right now. At some point, everybody, to the intro. I just want to get it right. Dave's saying he's trying to get it right. Let's see how he does.
The Gleason's map is the closest to what we observe. Could it be something else?
Oh, this is going to go bad for Dave tonight.
else very possible. But somebody in the chat mentioned it, and there's a topic we want to talk about, and we've talked about it before. But we're just going to bring it up because there's a bunch of people that don't quite understand how directions could work on a circle map.
Explain us, Dave.
All right, so he's going to explain this. We got to jump ahead a little bit to skip some nonsense. Go to 1931.
So, go ahead. You want to? I'll continue, but you go first.
No, I just have this question about east and west being circles because I still think that people think that's a concept that Flat Earth introduced when it's the way that the world works anyway.
What? Pause. The only time you find east and west as a circle, right, is when you try to plot it on a sphere. Right? Jeran is confusing a bunch of things together, and what he's subtly doing is promoting global Earth theory.
And what's the AE map model? It's a top-down projection of a globe.
The globe squished flat, and the Antarctica stretched out to infinity.
Problem there.
Right, and anyone that doesn't understand that, get a globe, get a ball.
Want me to bring up Google Earth?
Yes, please. Okay. Well, no, we see.
Get a globe. Jared's like, you want me to bring
get
up
a physical one?
Right
get
now?
Get it.
I'll bring up the fake one right now.
I want people to do it with a physical globe.
Let
If
me
you're,
get you one, David.
Let's say in the United States, and you want to head west, you
How many times have we pulled up the globe to teach people about flat Earth? Get you some flat Earth. Here, look at this spinning globe. These clouds, man.
We're gonna even go for measurements tonight, and we don't need to use a globe. We don't need to use a globe.
These guys look at David pointing at the sun here, like look at all the Jared's face. We're getting into some interesting stuff. We're going to talk about some flat Earth proofs. We're going to go to the globe and show you how a curved east-west path looks. Jared.
Dave's like, no, we've done that before. I want everybody to go get a globe. Do this with a real globe.
That's what he said. Play it again. Get it on replay.
Well, no, we've seen that. I want people to do it with a physical globe. If you're, let's say in the United States, and you want to head west,
his water.
you have to constantly turn to the right to maintain.
No, you don't, jackass. That's such a lie. You have to constantly turn to the right.
Distance from the North Pole. If you don't, you're going to arc over.
You know what Dave's arguing for here? Centripetal force.
Well, no, he's just taking this because his model matches the globe model because his is just a top-down projection of the globe.
Yeah,
so
only when you pull the line from the North Pole, right? Because there's no South Pole on the map.
Yeah, so we're going to show people tonight how east and west aren't. They do reposition to north. They do. But not in the circles that Dave's talking about, and we'll be able to show you why and how that all works.
Nor does the compass point to the North Pole. Like everything these guys give you, they give it to you wrong. Every single thing.
The equator, and you're going to end up where? South in Antarctica, right? The only place on the globe.
You don't know how to navigate shit. You probably wouldn't even make it 1 mile. Sorry, he would just be doing circles. I'm on an AE map.
Here's one of the areas where we got to be a little careful because sometimes he says some stuff that is true. So if you were at the North Pole, this is one of those things where if you want to use a globe, if you want to use an AE projection, or if you want to use a stereographic map, he's going to talk about a few traits that are in common to all of them, right? His map, the stereographic one, is going to have the least in common. Now, the stereographic map is going to have the most in common with the globe, except for the fact that it's flat. It's flat. It's not a globe. It's a flat map. And that could be projected to a globe, and then you would see a globe, but it starts out as a flat map. So his is actually you project it to a globe, and then you take a top-down projection of that, and that's what he's using, and it gives you only one polar point. Earth has two, so it can't be a circle. That's it.
that
And to
doesn't
answer
do
Seth-
that is exactly on the equator, right? Because if you go on the equator, around, and you're going to come right back to where you started from. Nobody here, even the people that don't like the circle map, believe we live on a globe. I get that. But here's the... good.
Well, something I keep hearing people say, which is just ridiculous, I don't think they're even thinking using their heads, is you would notice if you are turning the wheel. Right. So people, think about this. If you took a 30-mile track...
This is good. This is good. Let him keep going.
So the 30-mile track, he's going to tell you that if you were on a 30-mile track, you wouldn't be able to know that you were going in a circle. Well, here's the problem.
Or you're not even going to let him say it. Okay, say it.
Here's the problem. So if you're going around a 30-mile track, let's say you start at the top of that circle, a 30-mile circle. You start at the top, so when you're driving, you see the sun rise. Then when you're going south, you're going to see it on your side. Then when you're at the bottom, it's going to be behind you. So you're going to be able to tell by the position of the sun during the day. If it's at night, the moon. All these different things are going to let you know that you're doing circles and that you're not going straight. It's very, very obvious.
Yeah, the position of the sun or the moon, like you could take a mile drive and you'd be like, whoa, the moon just moved way over to the other side of my vehicle.
Yeah.
You could see it in the sky. So his assertion, you wouldn't even notice it. Like he's taking it to like the stupid Mythbusters episode where they blindfolded themselves and they just walked in circles because people have a tendency to do that. I don't know. I do know that everything that Jeran tells you is a lie.
Let's go ahead and jump ahead to...
Prove me wrong, somebody. Show me somewhere where Jeran said something that's true. Well, I guess he does sometimes say the earth is flat, right?
Yeah.
But I mean, the rest of the time he's proving the ball in his head.
All right, so this is getting into the topic that when we first went through this lit you up. So this is going to be this is going to be the brunt of what we're going to be talking about tonight. This section right here.
I mean, there's a bunch more.
Yeah.
If we could all experience, it's try to dead reckon on a big ship where you're not micro adjusting, and then go for a couple hours and see if you maintain your heading, right? So
I mean, here I'm just drawing a circle so people can see that this is on the globe, looking down from the North Pole. This is a circle.
This is where Jeran absolutely he ran right into my trap, right? Just picture an animal just walking straight into the like blade grinders. Okay. I went to school and learned how to design and build things using this principle here. So the problem that Jeran has is, again, he's only showing you from the equator north so that it matches their AE map. Again, we're missing the whole southern part of this map. Right,
yeah, everybody? Keep in mind that this only shows to the equator. So what happens when you see an AE map is everything that you're seeing right here has been condensed, and then everything you would call south of the equator has been expanded.
That's right, on the outside of this circle. So, but the huge problem that Jeranism has, well, we're going to get into that, but the problem that you have is when you do this, when you drag your point from the North Pole and you measure the tropics, you find that the tropics are the same length. Right. And they're supposedly on the globe Earth, the tropics are supposedly smaller than the equator. Right. The equator is roughly 24,000 miles. It takes the sun 1,000 miles an hour, and it takes it 24 hours to do its circuit. Right. That we can prove these things. But what Jeran can't prove is when you do this same test onto the the AE pizza pie flying in outer space map and model, New World Order UN, his tropic would have to be like 3 times the size. Right, we're going to get into that and show you guys with the modeling. But Jeran absolutely walked into a trap. He should have never brought out this tool and started getting people to conceptualize these rings, because we're going to show you how it totally destroys the idea that you could live on an AE map model with a circling sun and moon and stars with the same measuring tools.
Mm-hmm.
Circle. So no matter where you're at on this line, you're walking in a circle. So if you're on this line here and you were going east or west, this is a turning circle. It's not a straight line, and it never has been, and it never will be.
On a globe. Only on a globe is it a turning circle.
Well, it's got a little bit of curve on a stereographic map, but not the same as a circle. We'll go through that.
No.
If you were to take a straight line and try and draw from that same part and go east or west, this is 270 west is there, and there's a reason why it's pointing at the equator. That's why the sun rises at the 90 degree marker and sets at 270. And then if you go here, let me just clear that one, here and go this way, 90 degrees is this way. Okay, so you'll notice that, whoops, 90. Where is it? 90.
But that's not something that happens in reality. If you tried to go 90 degrees, you wouldn't end up on the equator. You'd.
All right. So here's where we have to dissect this a little bit. He says that does not happen in reality. If you were to travel 90 degrees or 270 degrees and you were north of the equator, you would never intersect the equator. Right? That's true. He's also going to mention what happens south of the equator, which is true as well.
End up staying on that latitude line.
Well, because each time you moved, the compass readjusts to north.
Yeah, readjust to right. The north readjusts. And again,
Right.
All right. So
Where?
well, this
Which
is
north?
an important point. The north readjusts. Both of them agreed. We have Jeran saying the north readjusts, and then David agrees that the north readjusts. And then when we show people a stereographic map, this is one of those things where all these things, they all have it in common. North does readjust, and south does readjust. Every single person here is agreeing that they readjust.
South doesn't readjust on their model on the A map. No,
No, not on their model. That's
only
Jared's
north.
model. Yeah,
They can only talk about the summertime in the north. They
That's
can't
true.
talk about any other time of year.
everyone's seen my video, circumnavigation for dummies. Do it yourself. Draw a map on the table. Get a circle map. Put
Get
a
you a
big
circle
ass
map.
magnet in the middle. Put a boat,
Big ass
a compass down, and move it around. Try to push it west. Try to push it east. Try to push it south.
All right, so let's go to 2445. Skip a little bit here.
Can do. We're gonna.
All right, one thing I want to point out is look at what he is showing here. He's up in Canada, and all of these fields are gridded out. Absolutely gridded out to north and south. Pay attention to that, because this is one of those things that you as a person can go out and experience for yourself. You can go into rural areas where the roads are set east and west, north and south, and you can see that everything is gridded out. You can pull out your compass and you can see, oh, I'm traveling north on this road. I'm traveling east on this road, west on this way, south the other way. So you can test and you can see this is all gridded out to north,
like,
east, west, and south, right?
Well, how do you think they built it?
They put out a compass.
They used a compass, right? And so the problem here is that Jeran's trying to represent this on a sphere.
Yeah.
Right? So it is twisting and warping the path because it's doing a conversion from a flat stereographic projection to a sphere, and then it's trying to curve and make things that into reality that aren't there, right? This is an absolute straight line. These are all perfectly aligned north, east, south, and west, and they're gridded out. And that's how you can completely debunk the AEMAP model, because it's a triangle you have to use to grid out a square. You can't grid it out like this. It
And
doesn't
people
work.
can tell when they're traveling down these roads whether or not they're turning left or right.
It also doesn't work on a sphere either.
We're gonna go okay here. So if you went down to this person's perspective, we dropped a person there. There's no way that
Drop
this
them.
person could know the difference between that line and the red line at all. So essentially,
you're inventing
they're
it
looking
in
off
this
in this
stupid program.
He doesn't even show you. He's looking north right now, the way he set it down. And he's like, oh, you can't tell.
direction, and there might be one line that goes off here, one line that goes off there, but it's on such a local scale, you never notice that. How long would you have to go until you notice that change?
And every time you move,
You didn't even
grid
look down
over,
one of the
you
pathways.
readjust.
Watch
You
him
don't even
rotate.
know
Here
that
he
you
comes
adjusted.
around.
I mean, when you're driving on the road and you do this tiny turn, you don't even notice it.
So these roads are straight. People can tell whether or not it moves to the left straight ahead of them or it moves to the right, and whether or not they had to turn the wheel one way or the other. They can tell these things. They really can.
I mean, it's unnoticeable.
So this red line and this white line, they look identical until a certain distance when they break apart. But from here, let's see how far. That's already 6 miles right there. So further than you can see on the ground anyway, you would have no idea that you're not looking in the same direction. Now,
and I'm not saying that north doesn't relocate as a person moves around the map. There is adjustment. We've shown that in the stereographic map.
So how many more timestamps do we have here? Because I am noticing that we're already in an hour and a half, and I got also links to get into. We only have 40 minutes before we're at 2 hours.
Yeah, we might go long tonight.
What I would like, okay, what's the next timestamp? Because we could just, why don't we jump into this, what is it called? SketchUp.
We can.
Yeah, let's go into SketchUp right now.
Let's go into it.
And we can do a little bit of this and a little bit of that. Let's show the people what actual modeling can do, right? So what I'd like to do, so I'm going to let everybody know as Jason's going in here. So the Wikipedia result for the length of the tropics is the length of the Tropic of Cancer is at 23 degrees, 26 minutes, and 11 seconds or whatever. North, sorry. So it says here, go figure, ladies and gentlemen, 36,788 kilometers, right? And then when we measure the Tropic of Capricorn, we get 36,770 kilometers. So if we do it to the miles, it's 22,859 and 22,850. So Jason now has, let's do this, and let's now measure, show the people what the tropics are, and grab your measuring tool, please, brother. And I'd like you to take it away and explain to people. So again, the globe earthers say that the Tropic of Cancer is 22,859 miles. Let's measure the Tropic of Cancer.
All right. So to do this, I have to go to a clean version of the map. Otherwise, it's going to intersect with everything I have.
Are all the AE map? Let's take a pause here. Are all the AE map and model promoters ready? Do you guys have your brains turned on? So you guys keep saying your minds are open. Our minds so wide open. Jeran said, "Okay, pay attention. We're going to get you some truth now." Okay, here it comes.
So I'm just going to put some crosshairs on here. So what I did right there is line this up, and you can see that the lines are about as close as you can get to having them line up right on the Gleasons. All right. All the way around here. So we got the crosshairs so that we now have a center point to work from. So now I'm going to select a circle. I'm going to put it on this, and I'm going to pull this out to, here's your tropic right here. There's the tropic. So now I'm going to get rid of the center of this. Oops. That's all right.
So this is the Tropic of Cancer, which I just read that the globe earthers say stretches from 22,859 miles. Okay. So whatever Jason's measurement is, we know that it's comparable to 22,859 miles.
All right. So on this map right now, when I select, let's see, I gotta add it like, there we go. Entity info. It should tell me right here. It's a total of 60 feet, 9 foot 7/8 inches. Okay. Using the scale that I have
so
this map set to.
The Tropic of Capricorn needs to be 60 feet, 9 foot 7/8. Right? Or okay. 9 inches. 60 feet, 9 inch, 7/8.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let's measure the Tropic of Capricorn on this model. Get you screenshots ready, AE map and modelers.
So now we're going to come down here to the Tropic of Capricorn.
Click.
We'll come along. We're going to add up these outside segments. "96 feet, 11 inches.
Oh, what?
Do you understand the problem this creates, brother?
Yes, I do. Are you kidding me? You're being facetious now.
Yes. Yeah, so as the sun would be going around at the Tropic of Capricorn, right, when we have the longer days during the summer months, and then as it's going around the outside, no, the top one's Cancer, outside one's Capricorn, as it goes around that, it would have to be traveling much faster, much faster, yet what we're going to see is down here, this is when the days are longer, meaning that the sun is up in the sky longer, meaning that the sun would have to be traveling slower geographically.
So let's take it up a notch here for everybody. Get your advanced glasses on, what we're talking about here. So there's a reciprocal. So what they've done is they've measured the daylight times of the sun when it rises and sets in your sky. Okay. And what they found was that the reciprocal of the north was also found on the south side. So what they did was they made a globe Earth out of it, when really all you needed to realize is the sun is on its path. And as it moves north and south, it creates longer days and shorter days in a reciprocal way. They mirror each other, right? You don't need, it absolutely falls flat on its face, this model here, because so we've just exposed the fact that the daylight times and the reciprocal times when the sun is traveling around these circles, they're almost doubled the amount of distance that the sun, so the sun travels at what could be measured at 15 degrees per hour in the sky. It never changes. Doesn't matter where you go on the map, you measure the sun, it'll be going 15 degrees in the sky. Okay, that's it, it's fixed, it's solid, right? So that model and map that we were just showing demands that the sun be moving way faster than 15 degrees. And what happens is you end up having shorter days, right, in the south. So the entire thing just falls flat on its face. And Jason's going to take it up another level, and we're going to show you. So these concepts that we're showing you guys with the whole realm map, the whole picture, it's just a concept. That's not how reality works in any way, right? But what we can deduce or deduct from the way that the sun travels is the way that the algorithm was set for the way that the day and night work. And we can show you where you are on the map, all depending on just the sun alone. And go figure that all the representations of what we're showing you is done on a flat, stationary plane with the sun, moon, and stars circling around it.
All right, so
and we can go 4 or 5 hours. I'm good. I just want to throw that out there too. I wasn't suggesting that we need to end it early. I was just saying I wanted to get into this. That's all.
No, I know it was dragging along, and this is the meat of it. This is what we need to share. We can sit there and
we got more. We're going to show them the whole map of reality, which means this is the meat. What Jason's now showing you is the small local scale, what we can actually go out and measure. You'll see corpuscular rays, you'll see clouds behind the sun and the moon. This is what we can actually physically match with the modeling. Okay, everything else is just a macro version of the world, the realm, right? And it's just a concept.
All right, so a couple things I want to get up here. Let's show this. No, it's not going to. Gonna be like that.
No, you'll get it to go.
All right, so this right here is 45 degrees north. Let me move this around, make sure everybody can see this.
This is an interesting teaching. I like this one because you can also learn where you are on the map with this same teaching.
All right, can everybody see this? 45 degrees north. So that's up just a little bit north of Green Bay. I grew up a little bit south of Green Bay, and you grew up roughly in this same latitude, right?
Bang, almost right along that line.
So people that have lived or experienced this far north are going to understand that at the equinox, right, the height of the sun in your sky, this right here, this yellow arc around here, represents the path of the luminaries around the observer. Guess what? On a flat plane. Can everybody see this as a flat plane?
It's the only way they can depict it. They can't show it on a sphere because the angles don't match.
They don't even have the computational power to be able to render something out like that.
It's like they're trying to figure out pi still, I think. Error.
All right, so this is the path of the luminaries around the observer, where the sun's going to rise 90 degrees east, set 270 degrees west. We have this set to the spring equinox, and everywhere on Earth on that day, it's going to be a 90 to 70 rise and set, but the path around the observer is going to be based on the latitude of the observer. If you're at the equator, this is going to go directly overhead. You're going to have straight line shadows.
So
go ahead.
Just to help people conceptualize this, imagine our stereographic projection. If you have it, can you put it on the screen real quick?
Mm-hmm.
I just want to explain to people. And then that's not it. So when we talk about latitudes, so imagine the projection. Let's just pretend that it's up on the wall right now. Okay. We're looking at the map. It's up on the wall. The bottom of the map, we're just going to call it the south, just because it's the bottom half of the map. We delineate this map into 4 sections, the 4 corners of the earth, the 4 quarters of the earth. Now, when we talk about latitude, we're talking about ladder. It's a ladder of steps going up towards the center of the map. That's your latitude. Longitude are the long lines that come down straight. Well, they curve. Everything in here is curving. The only thing that makes straight lines in reality is humans. We try to, right? And then Jeran brings up a globe earth sphere and tries to tell you they're curved. But what I want everyone to get in their head is that the lines of latitude are like a ladder that you can climb up when we're looking at the map, right? So depending on your position between the North Pole there, it's in the center, right? And then the 2 halves of the south on both sides, right? This is how the realm works. It's supernatural. But what you can do is on the equinox, if you measure the sun's midday point, right? If you're any degree, you just minus it from 90, and you will have your degree. So Jason you can go back to your other projection now.
Yeah, so I just want to point out where 45 is. You can see it right here. All right, there it is, just a little bit north of Green Bay. There's your 45. You can see where this runs across through Asia, through Europe. There's your 45 degrees. And then down south, this is your 45 degrees right here. Right, here's 45. And then over here, here's 45. So New Zealand's got a little bit of this, none of South Africa. And we got the tip of South America that we can go look at what the sunrise sunsets are south of the equator.
So throw the measure tool on, please, brother, and show the people again. So what I said was, on the equinox, if you measure the sun's zenith point, its highest point midday in the sky, you minus the degree of angle that you shoot the sun at, you just minus it off 90, and it'll tell you your latitude on the map, right? That's it. It's super easy, everybody. He's even got a tool. Get you that tool. Show everybody.
I'm going to have to refresh this page because it's not giving me the tool.
You know, it's sad that what they've done to the education system. It makes me mad, because I was pushed through it. Nobody gave me the time and the actual effort that I needed to excel in it. But now that I know that it was just all lies, the teachers didn't even care. It was just all lies, because people should know how to shoot the sun and the moon. They should know how to do the sextant angles and measurements and accurate things. We would be much more equipped to understanding our reality. We wouldn't have to do this course right here. We wouldn't be having to teach you. We could be making other things, but I still love to show people the truth of this realm. That's why I was born. It's my job, right? I'll give up everything to do it. So again, what Jason's turning on now is the sextant tool inside this there it is, inside the modeling program. And go figure, he said he was close to the 45th latitude line. Oh, you're not on it right now. Sorry, you're at...
I gotta move the time of day.
To the equinox. Has to be lined up on the 270-90 rise and set. All this stuff matches what we can go out and measure, ladies and gentlemen. This isn't a sheet in the middle of our kitchen with a flashlight getting you, look at this. We're showing you how you can go out and test this for yourself. We've done it. This is what we do. Look at that angle. It says 45.32 degrees. So if you minus 45.32 degrees off of 90, you're going to get pretty much 45, right? So it works, and you can take it anywhere along the map.
Let's come down here.
I'm going to pull up the calculator.
And let me go to minus 45 here. Now it's flipped the other direction. So now we're looking north. I got to adjust my time a little bit.
And tell me the angle and I'll tell you the latitude. I won't look at the screen.
I'm at 44.68. So the remainder that we had from the north, we picked up in the south. And they do say that Earth is oblate.
The measurement is 45.32 latitude.
From the north, right?
I just did the measurement minus it from 90.
Yeah.
So that's what the measurement came back with on the calculator. What did you just say?
45.
You just said.
You said 45.32, right? And that's the remainder of this 44.58 because it's showing Earth to be a little oblate.
Yeah, that's right. What we were projecting and he's showing you guys is called an oblique Mercator projection. It is oblate, right? That's the way that it was created. So I'm great that you brought that point out, and I'm really glad that I made you mention it again, because that's a huge point that we bring, because the scientists, they mock people and we live on an oblate spheroid, right? And they're just ass backwards, because water alone levels out. You just pour it, you can prove that you live on a flat plane by water alone. But let's take it back to the demonstration again and get back into this.
So understand where we are right now, everybody. We are 45 degrees south, and we were just showing how the sun's at a 45-degree angle. Now let's go back to...
I think we have an error. I'm getting a message from the producer stating that we have an error with the link to the map. So if you could drop a link to the map while you're doing this,
okay,
that would be fantastic. One thing you don't want to let anyone down is the producer.
Drop that there.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. All currently 81 viewers. We're so thankful that you guys decided to come study with us tonight instead of going partying or doing whatever it is that you wanted to do. Thank you guys. And even the lurkers, we got nothing but love for you. Even if you're on the other team, I ain't judging you. Thanks for being here tonight.
All right, so what we just established was that when you're 45 degrees north, now look at where I have this circle on this AE map. This circle is going around 45 degrees north, right? This is that Green Bay location, just a little bit north of Green Bay. And then because I'm following one line of longitude here, it's coming out to 45 degrees south down here. Now I did a little bit of double checking and verifying, where what I did was I took these segments right here and then I extended them out here and then flipped them up here, so that what you're seeing right now is a whole bunch of 45s. So if I come down here and look at this right here, I can take the protractor and I can bring it out here, set it here, snap off of this line and bring it up to here, and guess what? It's 45 degrees. I gotta move the screen a little bit so that you can all see that. It's 45 degrees right there. Okay, let me shrink this a little so you can, well...
I think you might have put the wrong link, but I'll try to fix it. You gave a link for anybody out there that's watching to the program that shows you the correct paths of the sun, right? That's the andrewmarsh.com.
I thought that's what you asked for.
I think it was the map, our map. But
our map.
You keep going. I got it. I shouldn't have even interrupted you. I'm sorry.
All right, I'm going to resize this a little bit. It should help. All right, so we were establishing that this right here is 45 degrees. The other way, if I click on that point, go the other way, here's 45 degrees. Now, why am I sitting 45 degrees off of 45 degrees north latitude? Because the programs are saying that the sun is 45 degrees high. So this is a solar noon from 45 degrees north and from 45 degrees south latitude on the same longitude here, and this is where they intersect. So the really simple thing here is that because it's 45 degrees, what you've created is an equilateral triangle where, right, this leg right here, down here at the bottom, that leg right there whatever its distance is from 45 degrees north to the equator, and whatever this leg right here, whatever its distance is from that point right there to the equator, has to be this leg up, because it's equilateral. Now, this program's already done it. It's intersected the two, and this leg matches this one and this one. Now, I'm just going to show everybody how far that is. We're going to go to Google. We'll show you how you can do this yourself, and this is on a flat map. We don't have to use a globe.
Not going to the sphere?
We're not going to go to the sphere.
David Weiss said, get you a sphere. I want you to get a real one, not only get you a sphere.
All right, you can see that when I click here, it brings... I got to resize this or move this so you can see that. All right, so when I click out on the map here, it's going to give you... It's saying 44.9, so I have to click a little bit higher.
Southerner.
I'm at 44.93. I'm getting closer.
Wisconsin cheddar.
Oh, I'm at 9979. I'm getting real close now.
Cerveza toe guy.
So I'm past 45 now. So I'm just a little bit south of Marinette. All right, north of Green Bay. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom out.
You didn't really give Marinette much of a shot there. Quaint little city there.
That's Michigan. Suburbs. That's not Wisconsin, so I'm not going to say much.
Oh, okay. So.
Oh, no. All right, I got it.
Didn't work. Let's do it again. I won't troll you. I'll stop. Sorry.
All right, so I got to go a little bit south of Marinette, right around here. When I come down here, I got to do my right click. Measure distance. Oh, man. So from there... What do we got? So we've got 3,114 miles, or 5,012 kilometers. So now that I've sort of figured out how to do that, let's go down to Argentina. Let's get out of that. So, oh, that was a close click. I'm at 45 degrees right now, 0.02.
You're on fire right now.
I'm going to come up here. I'm going to measure.
Boom.
Oh. Come on.
Fail. At least you're not like going, all this weird stuff that all these other people do when they try to do this.
All right.
There we go.
Oh, it's not doing it the right direction. I got to do it the other way.
Oh, fail. Quit hitting bricks, bro. We're live, man. What you doing?
I had this up before and it was working. I'm close here.
I bet you wish you were a baller about
measure distance.
Just kidding.
All right, so I had to measure distance first. Now, there we go. What is it we're seeing here? It's about the same distance. So one side it's like 3,100 miles. The other side it's saying 3,300 miles. They do say it's an oblate spheroid.
You're measuring the oblateness. And I accidentally timed out Joseph. He was getting a little bit carried away. No, I mean, I was trying to take out the shill. He was saying shill stuff, and I timed you out, Joseph. I'm sorry.
So what this is showing when we go back to SketchUp is we had 3,100 miles to the north here, about 5,000 kilometers. We had about 33,000 miles down here, a little over 5,000 kilometers. So either way, this point right here, the intersection where both the north and the south would be seeing the sun at the same position in the sky, at the same longitude on the equinox, the point is the sun has to be 3,000 miles up in their model. They can't say it's not. they can't say it's down here, right? Because if the sun was down here, none of this would work. Absolutely none of it work.
Oh, hold on. Throw the brakes on if we had that scratch noise. Okay. So their model demands that the sun be, because we can measure this on the equinox. We can measure the sun's zenith points from these two positions, and we can measure it to be correctly right there. Right? That's what it's telling us with this map and model. The only problem is that when the sun rises, it comes up from the ground. Literally looks, we filmed it like it's coming out of the ground. It rises up through the cloud deck, first shining up onto the bottoms of the clouds. Then the sun proceeds to go through the clouds with some clouds in front of it and behind it. And then it rises above the cloud deck and shines sunlight on the tops of the clouds, right? And crepuscular rays, which the only evidence that Rose Crowley 777 wanted to say, I don't believe this, is the only piece of evidence that we can actually use to prove these things. We can actually go out and physically verify this. An advanced 10-year-old could see the light rays, and if nobody filled his head with lies and told him that the sun was 90 million miles away, that advanced 10-year-old would say that the sun is in the clouds, because that's what we can measure and see with our own eyes. And what Jason's brilliantly done here was measured the tropics and created the 45-degree angle up to the cross point, and has demonstrated that if this were the reality, the sun would never set in our realm. It would circle above our heads, and it would go off on a donut path to the right, which in the south part, the sun is completely going the other direction, right? I hope people understand what I'm saying here. Not only does the lines of the tropic and Capricorn, the tropics, they don't work on this map. If you measure the outside ring, right, it comes up to somewhere like 60,000 miles, right? Like, if anybody could just fathom that the only thing we've ever been able to, I haven't verified it yet, but if you supposedly go due west on the equator, it should take 1,000 miles an hour. You should be able to do the path in 24 hours. That's it. No one's ever gone anyway. And it took them 60 days to do the one pass around the map. Okay, that's what they're trying to propose to you is reality. And then they're saying that outside of this impossible reality, that there's an infinite amount of other possibilities and other ponds outside of this one. And now we're on a crater and a moon in heliocentric Big Bang space. Get you some Flat Earth David Weiss. Jeranism.com.
Yeah, I just want to show you another big debunk here. So this is a line that's drawn from LA to New York.
I'll be right back. Oh yeah, this is a great one.
So when you measure that on this map, you come up with 6.5 inches. All right, now if you go out to Australia here, all right, this measurement, let's give you a little bit more of a top down where everybody gets to see what's going on here. All right, so we had this measurement from LA to New York. Now we're going to take a measurement from Perth. No, that's Sydney to Perth. Now all of a sudden we have 11.7 and 15 or in 5/16. All right, so this is way longer than the measurement across the United States, even though that we know that the United States is wider. So the reason why this happens is because it's a top-down projection of the globe, where everything that's north of the equator is being squished. That's the reason why we see North America, Canada, all this stuff being super condensed. And then as you go south of the equator, everything has to be expanded. Now all of a sudden this gap between New Zealand and Australia becomes huge. Right? You have this massive gap where in order for this to work, they have to stretch this out so far because of the amount of time zones that it crosses. Time zones become a problem. This is a clock. This is the only thing this works for. So it'll show you time zones, but that's the reason why everything outside of the equator is being distorted super wide.
It doesn't work as a clock when you try to measure the sun speeds on the tropics. It falls flat on its face as garbage, right?
It only shows you time zones for solar noon. That's all it shows you.
So, okay. What's the
Where do you want to go next?
you want to go back into some more of the Jeranism, or what do you want to do? Why don't you look at your timestamps? See, because I do have a bit of a presentation to go through, but we're in no rush.
Yeah. Let me just bring up our map once again. I want to point something out before we go too much farther. So when we show our map here, here's the Tropic of Cancer, here's the equator, here's the Tropic of Capricorn. Now what all the shills and all the people that want to psyop this map talk about is Pac-Man. How many times have you heard somebody bring up Pac-Man? Oh, that's a Pac-Man
Someone
map.
Was in the chat earlier saying
What?
Pac-Man. Yes. And saying free energy, which again, the problem with the AE map, the Mercator projection that free energy used skewed north and south to infinity. So it's doubly wrong, right? On top of the AE map doing the south beat.
All right, so what we want to point out is that when we are referring to this, we are referring to this solely as a map, right? Not that the sun, moon, and stars are a physical object traveling between these lines, right? You can get latitude and longitude positions from this map, but the sun, moon, and stars are not physical objects that are traveling above the earth like a Pac-Man. Pac-Man doesn't go down this yellow line, chomping away, come across here and come across on the other side of the map. That's stupid. It's absolutely stupid, and we've been calling that out from the absolute very beginning. What is taking place is this. This is what's taking place around each and every observer. The sun, moon, and stars are rising at your horizon. They are circling around you based on your latitude and longitude. Now what we're doing is we're showing a map where instead of this one, which is like Mercator style.
Look at the size of Antarctica on this one. So this one here, there's no north, and they've just completely stretched the south out in this projection. And what they've done is they've overlaid a correct stereographic coordinate system so that they're able to convert it.
So what we're saying is you can go to any location on Earth. Let's move to here. We're roughly in the Austin area. We can go out and we can verify these sunrise and sunset angles, and guess what it gives us? It gives us the shadows and everything. Right, so as we move, let's go ahead and play this. We'll speed it up a little bit. All right, so you can clearly see here azimuth and altitude. Azimuth and altitude each and every day throughout the year at any location. This is latitude and longitude. Now we're north of the equator, so this is circling around us to the south. If you take a look at this from the top, you can see it doesn't go overhead here because, well, Austin's not inside the tropics. All right, it comes close.
Comes close. We do get nice long days. The sun is up. And I moved from the north, and the sun was way lower on the horizon. I could verify that.
That is the path of the sun here. Let's take it to the summer solstice where it's going to come.
Well, hang on. Let's pause it, slow it down. Let's explain to people because they've been psyoped, especially the ones that are here that believe in the 8 map model. There's your analemma. It forms an 8, right? It's a larger loop because the Earth is oblate, flat oblate Earth, rectangular shaped. You get the snapshot once a month of the sun's zenith point, and you form this 8, a figure 8, right? This is how we can measure it. Everybody can do this experiment yourself. You're going to get the exact same results. And what we're saying, like we've been taught whatever we've been taught, but literally everybody can see the sun literally set just like this, go through clouds in their local 3-mile sky, and they'll literally see the sun go under the earth, just as Enoch had stated. So I will get to the book of Enoch. Right. So the book of Enoch is exactly, I'm going to suggest that Enoch was taken up by 2 angels, and the angels sat Enoch down in front of a screen, and they brought this program up. And here it is. It said the sun rises in the east through 6 gates, and it sets in the west through 6 gates corresponding with the gates that it rose in on the east, as it is to the west. And it shows this modeling program has it delineated into 6 gates, right? And it says the earth rises, so the earth rises, so the sun rises, it also does set continually on its path. So as the sun's rising and setting here, it's also rising and setting everywhere else on the earth. And the fact that you can film the sun in your local area, right? It's going through clouds, the sky is pink, yet somebody 100 miles away from you doesn't even have the sun up yet. It's dark there. It's about to rise in their sky, completely, whitish color, which we've been told is yellow. It's more white, right? Yet it's still in your local area too. So this place that we're in, we call it a simulation. It's supernatural. And the Book of Enoch completely explains everything that we're looking at right here on the modeling program. And go figure, we're in 2022 just about, right? Russian Vids is saying, are you saying God's word is a lie? So which scripture is Russian Vids referring to? Because I just explained to you from the Book of Enoch, which precedes whatever book you're trying to talk about, even though I'm not going to take any credit away from the word in any of the books. But Enoch spoke of the 6 gates. Enoch was taken up and he was shown this exact.
Well, hold on. He brought in Isaiah 40:22. The circle of the earth. You want to talk about Freemason mistranslations? Is that what you came here to talk about, RV Truth? Because we can talk about the word firmament. We can talk about the word circle and how they're Freemason mistranslations. All a person needs to know is how to use an interlinear and go to the actual words that were used. That's all they have to do. It's really simple.
And generally when you find one-offs, because RV only has one scripture where he says he sits upon the circle of the earth. Right?
And it was circuit.
Yeah, and the word goes back to the word circuit. It's the same way that you would make a passage every Passover. The people were instructed to make a circuit to Jerusalem, celebrate the Passover, and then they would go back home. And that was one circuit. And that was the exact same word. Right. So also the heavens, the bow that wraps around us is also forming heavenly circles, RV. The earth that we live upon was commanded to rise up out of what? The waters. And what does water do when it's at rest, RV? It levels out. So we live on a level realm. The earth was told to rise up, right, out of the depths of the waters, and it became land. Okay, and then he created the heavens, and the heavens were circles around it, right? And he created the day and the night before the sun and the moon. So we know we have a background light that travels through. Then we have the sun and the moon and all the other 7 luminaries, the wandering stars. RV, anything that you try to come here and try to promote that's lies and disinformation, we can destroy. Like it's baby truther talk. Don't come here with it, how thou him spread out the sky, which is strong and like a molten looking glass. That scripture right there is talking about the reflectivity of the sky, right? How it's shiny. Not that it's they were making a round shape that was shiny out of smashing together glass. We can look at that one up too. Job 37:18. So there's what you get for the firmament. You get vault or horizon, right?
How hard is this? Can anybody do this? Did you see what I did? Is it hard?
So it says, it is he who sits above the vault and the horizon of the earth.
Isaiah 40:22, interlinear.
Boom, let's go to the interlinear. Let's look up what Russian videos is saying. Proves the AE circling map without any corners and everything else that makes it debaucherous and blasphemous.
The circle.
Jason's going to go to the interlinear, and lo and behold, the word is chug, and it translates to vault or horizon. It has nothing to do with a stupid circle map. You're an absolute troll, shill, disinformation, our agent. Russian vids, you're a joke. Okay, go to Job 37:18. Let's look at this one. Yeah, I don't even. Job 37:18.
All right. There was more there. We didn't have to go so soon, but
we could go back. I'm sorry.
Job 37.
No, Yahawah's daughter, Russian vids, is not a bot. That's my mom. She's also a truther. So Nice try. Again, you're wrong with everything that you say, Russian vids. The whole world, all of heaven and all of earth can witness it. We're live right now. Everything that you get is wrong. She's a bot, huh? A bot gave birth to me. Are you calling me a bot, bro? Come on. Get you on camera and come call me a bot to my face.
Have you spread out with him the skies, strong as a mirror cast metal? Is this a circle? Is he saying that this is a
he's
circle? He's
suggesting that that's the proof for a dome.
Oh, for a dome.
Dome. This is dome Earth proof. Well, he didn't even say that. I'm just supposing it.
A mirror.
Shiny, reflective. A mirror. What does a mirror do? Russian videos. Does a mirror a supporting figure? Is it a strong foundation? A mirror is something that reflects. It's reflective. The sky is reflective. The atmosphere, everything up there is reflective. And he's trying to say that proves that we live. They were trying to make something reflective. They were making a mirror, Russian vids. It had nothing to do with some dome. And see, this is what you get. You get the supposed Christians who are vegans, right? What do you think Abel offered up? Because the vegans come in and say, well, before the flood, they didn't kill or eat any animals. Okay, well, what did Abel offer up, right? What did he offer up on the altar? What did they burn? And most likely they ate, right? What do you think it was? It was the best of his flock. It was an animal. So anyways, I don't know, Russian videos. Give us another scripture that you think that proves that there's a dome.
Let's bring up firmament.
What about the ice wall? Okay, let's bring up firmament. What about ice wall, Russian videos? Show me the scripture that says the earth is a circle. Show me the one that debunks the fact that it says over and over again that the earth has 4 corners. Right? Show me that. Show me, Russian vids. We're waiting. Everybody in the world, all of heaven and earth, is here to witness Russian videos. He's 0 for 2. He's got 2 strikes already on him. We just showed how both of the transliterations he was using were false and wrong. It is he who sitteth above the vault of heavens, the horizon of the earth. He sits above it looking down. That's what the scripture said. It wasn't about some circle. Oh, God's kingdom, he says. Oh, yeah, good one. That's real. That's really good. Kingdom. You know how stupid that sounds, Russian video? And most of your stuff, the dumbest part is the fact that you think when you take the word son and you take the other word son and you think you can squish it together and say, well, it's the Christ was a parable for, that only works in the English language. That's asinine for anyone who ever thinks that they can use that as an argument, because all we have to do is go to Greek and there's 2 totally different words. Or you want to use Roman, Latin, any of the different languages. Only in the English language can you use those stupid things. It's these guys who use the gematria, who make up the 15 different calculators, and then they try to suppose that everything matters off of that. And it's all absolute nonsense.
All right, so right away, I typed in Genesis 1:6, interlinear. This is going to be the first reference to the firmament in the scriptures. Look at the title here. It says Genesis 1:6, interlinear, and God saith, let an expanse. What? It doesn't say firmament.
Rock solid vault, dome, crystalline dome.
Oh, here it says, and said, Yahawah, let there be a firmament. This is Rakia. Let's click on this. An extended surface, an expanse.
Expanse, huh? Wow. It doesn't say dome?
No dome.
No dome, huh?
No dome.
He divided it. He divided the separation between the earth and the heavens. One was a circle around the other one, which was flat. And we'll get into that. I've got some slides too after this. But his next one that he brought up was Job 26:10. He compasseth the waters with bounds until the day and night come to an end. I just perfectly explained that the waters around the land masses are where he hath set the bounds. Here it is.
There are the bounds.
Get you some boundaries there, Russian videos. You want to see more? Are you here for the truth? Or are you here? Oh, did he say it again? He hath compassed the waters with bounds. And that's what we're telling you. Yeah. This is the simulation we're in. And here's your boundaries right here. That's it. And from one side of the map, guess what, Russian videos, to the other side? That's 24 hours. That's 1 day. There's your bounds.
And guess what? Your tropics and your equator, they're all the same length. Whoa. Go figure. Look at this. Your tropics and your equator are the same length.
I love when they come in and just walk straight into our traps. Every single thing. Russian videos just got struck the F out. Every single thing you brought up, Jason just debunked. One after the other after the other. How do you like that, Russian videos? What's your next scripture? Come on. And we could do this for eternity. Eternity.
Now look at what happens. Let's go to the tropics. So we're going to...
He's calling us goobers.
Oh.
I don't even know what that word means,
so
bro.
hurtful.
Can you use Russian videos? I would like you to express yourself with a little bit more of an expressive type word. Like, think really hard about the way that you want to communicate and then try to put that into descriptive words that we can understand.
All right. So what I've done now is I've moved our point here. I got to get rid of this rectangle. It's just getting in the way. All right. So I've moved my point here so that we're at latitude 23.5 degrees. So this would be a place on the Tropic of Cancer, right? So let's go ahead and look at our time of day. I'm going to stop this. And I'm just going to look at our time of day during the length of the year. So look at what I'm doing here. As I move this like this, you see how that circle got smaller? Do you see how it moved down here? That's January 1st. So our winter solstice is going to be around December 21st, right around this area right here. So from the north, if you're at the Tropic of Cancer, it's in Mexico, south of Florida here, you can see the path right here. You see the path of the sun? This is the lowest you're going to see the sun going around. Let's watch it go around here. All right. That's the lowest that you're going to see it. Now the sun is always rotating. I'm going to set this so that we're at, it's not daytime only. It's going to go, it's always 15 degrees per hour. Always 15 degrees per hour. Now look at our daylight hours. We've got 10 hours and 41 minutes. Less than 12, right? Less than 12. Now what happens as we move this? Right. Now out here at our summer solstice, around June 21st, now our daylight hours are 13 hours and 35 seconds. Right, so that shows us how the length of day works at latitude. It's based on the position of the sun going around the observer, just like this.
What we're suggesting here is the only thing that's true and real is that you can go out and measure the sun's path through your sky. And it'll tell you how long the day is and where the sun is in the sky, right? Then when you minus it off 90, you can find on the equinox your latitude, right? These are all provable, observable, repeatable evidences. And they're all done from a flat, planar, stationary position. We're not doing anything curvature here. We're not using any globes. We're showing you exactly the way the realm works. Not the way we want it to, right? The way that it actually measures and works. Okay?
No.
So
this right here is the super, super, super money. I'm going to take this and I'm going to drag it down to 23.5 degrees south. Now watch what happens as I do this. You see how this is tilting over the observer as I get down here near the equator? You see how it's going right around the observer? And now I'm going to drag this down to minus 23.5 degrees. Right around there. Now I'm going to have to turn this around the other way and look at what's happening. So now let's go to our summer solstice. Let's bring the sun up. We'll just look at this in the daytime right now. Now this is from the south at the Tropic of Capricorn. This is the lowest that we see the sun, the shortest path. This is 10 hours, 42 minutes. This is less than 12 hours. Now watch as we drag this out to the winter solstice. So we get out to around December 21st.
hang on. He's swinging again. RV's brought into scripture, Jason. Does not the very nature of things teach you that if a man has long hair, it is a disgrace to him? 1 Corinthians 11:14. Can we just take a pause here and go to the scriptures for a hot second? Because Russian videos is in the hot seat again. So he's already batting 0 for 3 with his biblical knowledge. Now he wants to try to explain us about men with long hair. So we got 1 Corinthians 11:14. He's quote mined it, or scripture mined, because that's what Satanists do. I'm not saying Russian Vids is a Satanist, but he is actually acting as an adversary against the truth here. He said, quote, "Does not the very nature of things teach you that if a man hath long hair, it is a disgrace unto him?" So Russian Videos has subjected that as his evidence that Jason and I are disgraces because we've got long hair. So let's look at the whole context of the scripture, look at what's before and after, so we can get a better picture or descriptive picture of what we're learning here. This is a very interesting teaching, everybody. So I just want to preface this again with when Yahawahashai, the Christ, came again and he walked the earth, he showed the scribes and Pharisees everything that they thought was a law was basically they invented it or imagined these things in their head. They had no idea what they were talking about. And this is a teaching that they were getting. So do you have it yet?
Yeah, I've got it. So let's go through chapter 11. We'll start with verse 1.
Let's go really slow for Russian Videos. We'll take it slow.
Be followers
does you want me to read
me.
it? Well, hang on. Should I do this in Russian? Because I can read it in Russian if he wants. It's up to him. Well, but you can do it in English first.
"Even I, as I am also of Christ. Now I praise you, brethren, that ye remember me in all things, and keep the ordinances as I have delivered them to you. But I would have you know that the head of every man is Christ, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of Christ is Yahawah. Every man praying or prophesying, having his head covered, dishonoreth his head."
So like wearing a tiny hat, huh?
That's literally why they do it. That's the reason why
Interesting.
And all the people that wear the baseball caps backwards and they say all these satanic things, all that kind of crap.
Hopefully he's paying attention. We just explained him something real quick that you're not supposed to cover your head with tiny hats, it says.
"But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one as if she were shaven."
So now what it's saying, it's leading to the point that when a woman prophesies, and we learn this from the book of Enoch, that the fallen angels and the Nephilim lusted after the long hair of women, not men. It was with women. So they were instructed to cover their heads. They can wear a yarmulke or a scarf would be a better way to put it, right? They can do that, and they can go out and proclaim the word it's saying. Speak boldly, but continue on, please.
Well, this is the KJV, and this is a crap translation, so I'm just going to switch to the NIV.
That's quick. That's the worst one, but we could go to the interlineary too.
Yeah. But this is just easier to read, and if he wants to go to the interlinear on any one of these, let's go ahead. All right, so let's go. "But every woman that prayeth or prophesieth with her head uncovered dishonoreth her head, for that is even all one as she were shaven. But if the woman were not covered, let her also be shorn. But if she be a shame for a woman to be shorn or shaven, let her be covered. For a man indeed ought not to cover his head, for as much as he is the image of the glory of Yahawah, but the woman is the glory of the man. For the man is not of the woman, but the woman of the man. Neither was the man created for the woman, but the woman for the man. For this cause ought the woman to have power on her head, because of the angels. Nevertheless, neither is the man without the woman, neither the woman without the man in the Lord." It's coming up. "For as the woman is of the man, even so is the man also by the woman, but all things of Yahawah. Judge in yourselves, is it comely that a woman pray unto Yahawah uncovered? Doth not even nature itself teach you that if a man hath long hair, it is a shame unto him? But if a woman hath long hair, it is glory to her, for her hair is given her for a covering. But if any man seem to be contentious, we have no such custom, neither the churches of Yahawah. Now in this that I declare unto you, I praise you not, that ye come together not for the better, but for the worst."
You hear what he's saying here, RV? He's telling this guy, or who he's writing about, that if you come in here telling me that it's okay for a woman to have long hair, but not a man, he's saying we don't have time for you here. You're missing the point of what we're doing.
First of all, when ye come together in the church, I hear that there be divisions among you, and I partly believe it. For there must be also heresies among you, that they which are approved may be made manifest among you. When ye come together therefore into one place, this is not to eat the Lord's Supper, for in eating everyone taketh before other his own supper, and one is hungry. So
We already got through the point.
yeah, we got through the point, and
Yes,
one of the other things that
strikes
people
out.
can do is say, type in long hair in the Bible scriptures. And there's another site that comes up, this one, where it gives you a different list of scriptures that all relate to long hair. So
This is what everyone should do.
So we've got the 1 Corinthians one, which we've just gone through.
So Russian videos is still arguing the shame. So what the scriptures was saying is that how can you say that it's okay for a woman to have long hair, but it's not for a man? He said, for these things we don't have time for in our church. That's what he just said.
And then we have Numbers that says, all the days of his vow of separation, no razor shall touch his head. So there's...
That's the vow of Nazarite, which was a vow.
Yeah.
That they, right, in Numbers. This is the Old Testament now, the law, right? Moses, the Tanakh. Right?
Judges, you shall conceive and bear a son. No razor shall come upon his head.
So is he going to tell us that Yahawahashai had short hair, shaved, even though he was from Nazareth, right? Interesting fact there. Yahawahashai hails out of Nazareth, Galilee, right?
All right, so here's anti-cross-dressing. Deuteronomy, a woman shall not wear a man's garment, nor shall a man put on a woman's cloak, for whoever does these things is an abomination. So cross-dressing is absolutely...
And I just want to point out, the only reason why we went into these, we're not feeding into you, Russian Vids. I'm mocking you. You're mocking yourself by every single thing that you've brought to the table has been an absolute joke. You've been wrong on every single thing that you brought to the table. Every point. The scripture that you used to say that men shouldn't have long hair was them being rebuked for stating that. Saying, what are you, scribes and Pharisees? We ought not have that in our church, it said. Like, you need to read more than just one scripture. When you take just one scripture to context, you don't understand what they're saying. It's called data quote mining, right? And it's a joke to us because we actually do the work. We go and click on them and see what the context is of each scripture. You can't just take one here or there. You got to add them all together. A little here, a little there, it says, right?
And the thing is our hair does nothing to change any of this right here. All right.
Yeah, it's still true.
No matter how long our hair gets, it's never going to change this.
And make your AE map and model single polar point realm work.
What we're looking at is a place south of the equator. Now we're at the longest day of the year, and guess what? 13 hours, 35 minutes. Right, do you see the problem with that?
Russian videos is taking it to tattoos. Okay, hold on. And yes, there's a huge problem with what you're describing. Continue, and I'll rebuke his... Listen, we've already said tonight, I guess Russian videos wasn't there off the intro. It's not... The things that you do, the things that you eat, I guess a tattoo could be similar to eating. You know, it is a mark on the body. I have one, right? The way we treat people, the words that we speak, right? The truth that we carry is what we're judged by. We're not judged by the kind of food that we eat. Your scribblical, what do you call them? Scrupulous, not the scribes, but the worst scribes. What were they called?
Sadducees.
Yeah, Russian videos is just your modern day Sadducee. I bet that 2,000 years ago, Russian vids was coming around trying to be like the scribes and Pharisees. If you can answer me this one question, Russian vids, we'll dictate the rest of our hangout to every question that you have, right? How is Yahawahashai? How is he both Lord and Son of David? And you can call him whatever you want. Christ, you just don't call him Jesus because the letter J was just created 500 years ago. Again, how is he both Lord and Son of David? He won't be able to answer this, so you can keep going.
I'm just typing a response. I'm almost done. We just showed that it did not say circle. Eat that, RV.
He's hilarious. Is he going to come back with anything more? Nah, we've given him enough time. Everything that he came to us was wrong. Every single thing.
Mm-hmm. So this right here is demonstrating 13 and a half hours plus of the sun is up. Now this is so easy for all of you to go check. Anybody? All right. Do you see what's taking place here? All you need to have is some live stream camera anywhere south of the equator. Pick a place south of the equator. Pick a live stream camera. Someplace outdoors where the sun's going to be able to cast shadows. You can find a street corner where there's a stop sign, where there's a trash can, anything that's got a vertical pole. Right? And you can watch at sunrise and at sunset which way the shadows are cast. This program is demonstrating how they are cast anywhere, north, south, east, west, the time of day, the time of year. This is going to show you the directions that the shadows are cast. And you can clearly see that the sun is rising from the south of east, setting to the south of west. This is even at the Tropic of Capricorn. The sun is up in the day more than 12 hours. Right? This is large rotation. Let's let this run. You get to see the full rotation of the sun at this point. Watch it go around. Look at the rotation of it. This is taking place south of the equator. See how it's going to rise and set north of east, set south of west. Look at this rotation. Now watch what happens as we drag this farther south. Watch in the main screen. Watch how this continues to tip further and further and further and further and further. Now all of a sudden, as we get down here into the Ushuaia area, look at this path. All right, this is right after the winter solstice. 16 hours, 50 minutes in Ushuaia. Do you see the problem here? Here's Ushuaia down here.
It's a huge problem.
How can the sun down here get 16 hours plus of daylight time when it has to go all the way around the earth in 24 hours and it's going around the outside circle?
That's 60,000 miles.
This is just stupid that anybody would believe something like this.
It's 60,000 miles, right? That's 60 hours on the outside ring.
Here's your location down here. Let me bring this screen a little bit. Here's Ushuaia down here.
It's at the bottom of...
Way outside of the circle. So anybody that has any common sense is going to realize that the sun would have to, from this location here, the sun would have to be rising from north of east, and it would have to be setting.
Have to be
setting to the north of west.
For this circle map to work like that.
Have to be.
It's going the complete opposite direction right now.
And here we go. It's just a little bit after the winter solstice. Here's the path. This is the longest day down here. 16 hours. Plus, almost 17 hours. You see that?
Yeah, it destroys the AE map and model. Just flat on its face. Just by actually measuring the sun. Its path, its day length, its height, everything.
Watch these shadows, everyone. Here's all the measurements. All of them. You can stop this at any point. Bam. I want to... At 5:48 on January 7th down here at minus 52 degrees. Oh, my azimuth is going to be 103. And my altitude is going to be 18.33 degrees. All right. All right. You get every single measurement for the path around the observer. You get all the shadows cast. We have I don't know that we're going to be able to go through the rest of that hangout. I mean, there's
No, I think it's time you give the screen share over. Maybe put the thumbnail up. Let
All
me
right.
show some people some stuff. I've been waiting. It's what, almost 11:15? No, it's 10:25 Central Time. Be better if it was 8:88, right?
all right. You should have it any second. I think I lost your audio. Can you hear me, brother? Audio input capture should be there.
Oh,
but
I thought I was screen sharing. Sorry, can you hear me?
I just.
I'm there.
All right. Let me switch this over to you screen sharing now.
Okay. Well, can you do it? No, I have to click screen share, right? You trying to make me look bad in front of the audience? You got to put the thumbnail on first.
I did all that, but I thought you had it up already.
No, you never let me screen share yet. I'm still waiting.
Oh, I started the screen share. You're supposed to start the screen
Now
share.
you got to put the thumbnail on again.
Yeah, it's up.
Is it? Okay. Let me see if you can get the sizes here. Let's go. Sorry, everybody. We're just working out. I don't screen share that often. So in this one here, like, I don't know if we want this part. I don't know if we need the chat. So can you see this link?
Yeah, I'm moving it around right now.
Okay. Yeah, everybody just bear with us so we can get the correct, because this is the stuff that I really want to drive home that everybody can completely understand. Then this should still fit on it. And I think some of this, I want to start it off on get you some flat earth off the Wikipedia page. It's pretty funny what they got here. And you just let me know. Were you still sizing it?
It should be coming up. Yeah.
Am I? Yeah. So again, we're on Wikipedia here. We're looking at flat earth. You just scroll down. Excuse me. Scroll down. And what you're going to find is there's a section down here called Flat Earth Society, right? The International Flat Earth Research Society, that's IFRS, better known as the Flat Earth Society, was set up by Samuel Shenton in 1956. Here he is, right? And then here's their model. I don't know if we can see that if I go like this. Is that off the screen share now? It's the AE map model, okay? And what everybody knows that was in the beginning waves of flat earth is that the Flat Earth Society was set up to disinform people. They said that you were on an AE map model flying upwards in outer space in the heliocentric model, right? And then we just showed you that the circling map is impossible, especially when you try to calculate the sun speeds and sun angles. It all just falls on its face. So let's continue on. Here's the map that we use, okay? This is stereographic projection. Jason's been talking about it. What I want to point out to everybody is that these three lines here, the Tropic of Cancer, Tropic of Capricorn, and the equator are all the same length, right? You can overlay them. They all match. Okay. That's very different between the globe earth model and the circle model. The circle model is very different because they've got the tropics smaller than the equator. So again, this is our map and model. The lines of latitude are going this way, and the longitude ones are going up and down. And when you declinate with your compass, you'll be right along this line. And you can grid it out the way that we have. Excuse me, 1 second. Now I'm going to move on. We're showing you how we went about projecting this to a sphere. So we're the only team out here that says, okay, if we live on a ball, we better figure out how we can map it. If we live on a flat plane, we need to figure out how we can map it. And the deduction that we came to, Jason and I think it might have been, I'll give Jason the credit here, was that the realm that we live in was created in a way that you could deceive someone into believing that they're on a sphere. But when you actually do the work, the Jeranism, as the scriptures tell us to do, to research and test all things, you find out that it's flat. So you start to think, well, how could we be confooled that they've been teaching that we lived on a ball? And so we went out setting, Jason said that we need a stereographic map. And I actually had one. I had a bunch. I downloaded almost every projection that was ever made. So let's move on. This is in a Blender program back in March 28th, 2018. So what I'm showing here, is it nice and zoomed in on this screen here?
Jason? I'm going to make it a little closer now.
Yeah, I've got it on slow. So we can just talk while this goes. I'm showing people. So this is the UV editing Blender program. This is just me. I'm a carpenter. I'm not a blender expert. But I created a sphere, right? And then I made it smooth. Now I'm going to project the map that we keep talking about, how this projects to a sphere and we get our globe Earth. They've psyoped this. I really want people to understand this is the reason that we use this map, because we had the debate. And if you can come up with one through Occam's razor, the simplest of the two debates always wins. So the complicated one of the two is that we live on a sphere, because you can't even measure anything in the sky on the sphere. They have to flatten it out and show you on a plane. If they create a simulation program, it has to be done on a flat plane. So what we got here, these are different types of UV meshes, right? So when you have it in the correct orientation, what happens is you get, that's closer, right? Closer. Now I'm working with it, trying to get as close as I can. Remember, you guys, I'm a carpenter. Now, mind you, I went to night school and learned how to do layout. That was my specialty. I just wanted to go around with a chalk line and some other layout tools, spinning laser. I didn't want to have to carry drywall for the rest of my life, because the big guy always had to do the heavy parts. So again, I'm a layout guy. So now what we have is
I'm going to step away for a second and be right back.
I got this. We've got the UV mesh pretty much lined up here. Okay, the north is almost directly in line with the north. And what this UV mesh map system does, you see a little bit of it over here, you see is clipped off the map. And on this side here, you have a little bit here of blue showing, right? So it just folds on top in 3D space. Okay, I'll zoom back out because Jason probably had it set. And I'm going to turn the UV mesh off. There you go, boom. So on the side now, boom, it snapped the Earth. It's put it to an angle too. Go figure, right? What is it? 30 something degrees or whatever. I don't know. It snapped it to that angle. And what it did was the stereographic map that we use, as you can see, it sort of has a mesh line on it, but that's the actual lines of latitude and longitude. It actually turned it into a sphere, made everything straight. So this smiley face here that you see, the path of the tropics and the equator and the ecliptic path of the sky, it comes out as a straight line, because that's how you convert from a stereographic Earth map onto a sphere. You need to have this map to make this happen, right? And I didn't use any special tricks. I just projected it to the sphere. Okay, it's basic. Like if I could do it, and I make it a little bit more detailed, bring it into a single program, and I show you exactly how it all aligns and how it works. It's really not that complicated, right? And then you could visualize infinite ways that you could, the boundaries are set. The square, the rectangle around the Earth is the boundaries. So this is just one of the reasons why, and here, I'm going to play this part. This is funny. This is for all you AE map modelers, just so you can see at what level I'm going to time travel. Okay. This was back in March 28th, 2018. And this is the second time I'm going to time travel today alone. You people want to see something. You want to see tricks? This is how far ahead I am we are. Team Yahawahashai is above the shills and the liars. Look at this. This was years ago, right? Check this out. Yeah, speed it up.
Right, and I think I'm screen sharing.
Yeah,
and I just wanted to share with everybody real quick right here in the chat right now. So, for all you flat earthers out there that love the circle of the Earth, like Zen Garcia and Rob Skiba, look at this. You see this map that's in front of you, Jay?
I do.
What do you think of this map here? What's this landmass right here?
Hawaii?
Hawaii. Ding. Yeah, you got the bell. So basically, what we don't have here is Antarctica. But it's basically a circular representation of our reality.
So what I've done here is used a stereographic projection, and I put it inside of a circle. Now it's wrong. I just said there's no Antarctica, right? We're missing the bottoms and part of the top. But if you were to believe that you lived on a circle map, this would be the closest projection. And guess what? Guess what, everybody? If you wanted to believe this was reality, the sun would literally have to travel from one side. Well, everyone that went this way or went this way or went this way, that one went this way, we have the asteroid effect in play. Now, what we came out and taught people was If you take our words, instead of trying to create a straw man and say Pac-Man, Pac-Man only delineates a few different places. We say the whole map is like asteroids, where you can go off the screen on this side and you come back on this side. And it was in the 70s that they created that program. And we use that itself as evidence that that's most likely, again, Occam's razor, the simplest answer is usually the correct one. The bounds that he hath set, that's how it works, right? And so I just wanted to let everybody know that there you go. If you want to be a circle mapper, if you don't show me this picture, I'm going to say you're really wrong. And if you show me this picture, I'm still going to say you're missing a bunch. But anyways, our path has been about the truth. Now I'd like to take people to the heavens. So I know I heard Rose say it. I've heard Alex say it. I'd love to have a understanding of how the universe works. Well, here, what I've done is I've taken this now is the sky. This is the sky here. This is a map of the sky and the sections that the luminaries travel along. And the rotating.
You see, this map here is almost the same representative of what we're showing. Okay, this is the equator and the tropics here. This is your west. This is your east, correct?
And right here we have your north center pole and your south celestial pole. Now it's a little bit different than the map that we use, because the slice spot where you'd put the mesh on is a little bit more. You've got it represented as a single pole, where we have two poles, but half of the pole is here and half the pole is here. But for this presentation, I wrapped it like this, right? Now watch. On the right here, we get what would be if they were trying to tell us that we lived in a sphere. And go figure, I want everyone to pay close attention.
The map on the left becomes a croquet ball. Everybody, that's all you need to know to understand how stereographic maps have to be what this world is based on.
Like I didn't play around here. I went all in. I showed everybody exactly what the truth was, what I found, what I searched long for. You know, the only way, I have to give Globebusters credit, they showed a really crappy version of this. I colored all these lines in. They had this nasty, distorted version of it. I screen captured it and I searched Google Images with the image. Lo and behold, I found this one. And then I actually had QNFEE help me color it in, because I did a bunch in Paint, and then he showed me ways to like copy and paste and move the lines. But what I want to show everyone is on the right side. This is, I'm UV projecting it the same way I did with our other map. Remember, just put this map over top of ours, and you've now got the whole entire visible known universe on a macro scale, right? I'll just let that sink in. I hope everybody's paying attention. They wanted to know how you could map out reality, and we're showing you, right? There's no ego in here. This is about the truth. Whether I'm telling you this or someone else is telling you this, it doesn't make a difference. It's true. You cannot debunk it. Look at how close I have it. And I'm not a graphic artist. I'm a carpenter. I build walls and buildings and schools. Here we have the celestial center, right? So the center of the heavens that were created around us. This is it. And you can zoom in here into the sphere, and I can show you exactly how you can measure it from the inside too, how the sky all works, right? Look at how nice it's stitched together. This line, this red line and this red line both ended up being almost perfect circles, because when you stereographically project something like this, it becomes great circle routes. It's called room lines. This is how they back engineered. This SCP stands for South Celestial Pole and North Celestial Pole. And I've aligned it all up. Look at it. Like, I just hope people understand exactly what I'm showing here, right? This is how you could live on either a flat plane on the left, which doesn't demand that you don't need gravity anymore. This thing's fixed. It's floating, but it's such a large landmass. It's fixed. It's firm. It doesn't move. It's solid. The sky rotates around us like I have it projected here, but you can overlay the map over top of the map that we have and they match. Okay. That's what I'm trying to show people. It's really simple. Again, you can see the mesh work. See how it's off the map here. Again, there's parts of this side of the map that are not covered with the mesh. That's how it projects a stereographic projection. They came up with this in the late 1800s. We have that map in our Google Doc file. We have that map too. We found that one. That's what led us to getting these maps. So I just really hope that this completely shows exactly what I'm trying to say. Look at me. Shaved, short hair, and probably 150 to 200 pounds heavier. There I am, huh? You probably can't see me on the side of the screen. I'm going to keep this going. So here I've taken into another, this is a graphic representation right? This is this. How is this one coming through on the screen share? If you're there, co-pilot.
I'm adjusting as we go.
Okay, so I can leave this one here for a second. This is just a conceptualization of someone on the equator and how their circle of sight. This is giving you the whole map, but it'll give you your circle of sight on the equator. Let's zoom in here. Now we've got it traveling from east to west there. So it needs to be moved up a little bit more to be aligned with this. It's not perfect. Again, I'm a carpenter, but I wanted to show people looking west from the equator, you'll see the stars anywhere on Earth. You'll see the stars looking east. Sorry, that was east. You'll see the stars rise. Looking west, you'll see the stars set. Looking south, you'll see them turn clockwise. And looking north, we're going to turn here. Looking north, you'll see them spin counterclockwise. Okay. This is what we can go out and measure on our own local scale, your own 3-mile site. Now, in the AE map model with the sun circling around here, you have to literally see through this. We're telling you that it happens on such a tiny scale. It's way down here. Jason did all of his presentations tonight from this area that I'm pointing out on the map right here. This is 45 degrees north, right there. But I just wanted to point out, we live on a flat plane. It's a rectangle shape, and it's bound, encompassed with waters, right? In the east, there's a spot where you can measure out 6 different spaces. The sun travels. It goes this way. Then you're in the summer. And then it goes this way. You're at the equinox. Then you're at the winter for the north, right? It just goes back and forth.
But like these are not Pac-Man paths with the sun, moon, and stars traveling over the Earth. This is something that's taking place on a ground level where we were showing the sun rise at your horizon, set at your horizon around you. This is just the map of the realm. That outside circle right there is just showing people how the stars rotate around the observer locally.
Locally. This is just a larger conceptualization. I explained that over and over again because it helps people open up their mind so that I tell you that the Earth is flat and a rectangle and that it's the heavens that rotate around us. That's the way that it was designed. And this is the way that it works. You can test this anywhere on the map and you will get the exact same results. Now I want to take so there was this talk in the Jeranism video about the 24-hour sun. We've heard conflicting evidence. So Jason and I went to the Great American Eclipse. We went there in 2017. This is live from the Great American Eclipse. Right? So we met these people. We met a bunch of people there. Let me get this one larger so you can correctly represent this. So we got talking to them and they ended up saying that they had been North Alaska. We were like, wow. So we got a chance to ask them some questions. So let's check this out. And this is what we do here. We don't just chill out. We don't fundraise for anything. We do all this just for the truth.
We're back. This is Event Skeptic, Ronnie Harris with Jason Laufenberg of Awake Souls, and we're joined by a lovely man and his lovely wife, Carl from Altamont. How you doing, Carl?
You're fine.
It's really nice to meet you.
You too.
Do you guys have your solar eclipse glasses?
We have one pair we share.
You do have a pair, so you're going to put it on
You're share 'em.
at the beginning and the end of the eclipse?
Yeah. We will share the one pair.
I've got an extra pair for you.
Yeah, I got to.
Remember, me and Jason were doing training. We were getting ourselves, we were practicing staring at the sun. Everyone's like, you guys are going to go blind. I'm like, we didn't go blind.
A few extra our eyes. We're going to.
Hell, I look at the sun every day.
So do we. Down here?
Yeah.
When we
Arctic all over the country for sun and stay up
The Arctic Circle.
at the Arctic Circle.
So Carl and his lovely lady, you're saying that the sun set in the summer in the Arctic Circle.
Yes.
So I just want to say that these two people were in the Arctic. They didn't know why I was asking them these questions. I just asked them, so when you guys were there, did you happen to notice that the sun set while you were up there? Right? Because in the Globe Earth model and the AE map model, they demand that the sun never set. And even in the model that we use, the one that we use that we can prove to you that you can actually go and test, it shows the sun up. But these people were there and they say the sun set.
Yeah.
We
Yes.
stayed overnight at the Arctic Circle.
And this was during the time period that the sun would have been up
Yes.
24 hours.
Yes, it was in August.
In August, right? You heard her.
Yep.
Yeah, what time did it get dark?
It was like 12. I picked low bush cranberries like at 12:30 at night.
So
I'm gonna say
at 12:30, she remembers picking the cranberries, right? So we also know people. My uncles lived in Grand Prairie, and it would stay light out till past 11 o'clock at night. Right? It would stay light out most of the night too, and that's not too far south, but it is far south of where they were.
1:32, somewhere in there.
Is when.
So when you do the research for midnight sun, you'll see the midnight sun set on all the different footage that you see. There's the only evidence that we find of the 24-hour up all day sun is CGI. And then the flat earthers, the Jeran, the fake flat earthers, they'll go on and say the 24-hour sun footage from the Antarctica is fake, but the ones that they pull up for the north, they say are real. And they're all absolute crap CGI.
When the sunset.
Yes, but it got dark and the sun rose again the next morning.
And that's
wonderful testimony.
The gospel.
Yep.
That's the gospel. And ladies and gentlemen, we didn't tell these people to say this. We just met them. We just met them and we started talking. We were waiting for the eclipse to start. And that's what took place. So any of you AE map and modelers want to say this or that, well, I guess that's all I really wanted to share. I didn't have too much prepared. I just wanted to show people that that's the way that the map works, right? We project it to sphere. There's your AE map and modelers. Get you some. Yeah, that's this hilarious thing. We wanted to debate people, and I guess this still is a debate that we are willing to take. We especially would love to debate with doctors, people with PhDs, people with master's degrees. Each person must have a second camera, no headphones, because we like to see that people aren't cheating, being fed the answers. List of ad hominem and curse words will be provided that are blacklisted as a result of a loss of turn. Jason, you're such a strategist.
Yeah, I gotta be.
The broadcast is Creative Commons and can be reposted by anyone. We were always trying to get into debates, right? Here we are, and I just want to show people again. Just this is how we do it. We show people that if you live on either one of these, flat Earth or a sphere, you need to have a stereographic projection if you want to show people how anything works correctly on either one of them, right? And I'll leave it at that. And shit flows downhill. Figure it out, Paul Earthers. And screen share. Tell me when.
All right, so I'm going to. I've got the screen share now. I just want to show somebody. This is an old video, right? This is Equator Equinox Top View. This is April 26, 2019. And this is just a graphic. Let me adjust the size here a little bit. I would just want to show people this. This is the anti-Pac-Man moment right here. So what you are seeing is the same thing that we were showing right here. Right, this the way the sun goes around a person. Let's take it up to the equator real quick. Now all of a sudden we'll bring this to an equinox. Roughly, there we go. So now you can see at sunrise you have these shadows shooting straight west. Everybody see that? As the day goes along, you get to a point where there is no shadow overhead. All right, straight up above. And then you come around to straight shadows going east as the sun goes down. This takes place along the equator, on the equinox, all across the face of the earth. And then another way to visualize this is like this. So this shows the time zones as they're taking place. The sunrise, the sunset, each one of those is one of those circles of sight. It's all timed out where the day starts, the day ends, across the face of the earth, and you can see how it moves. Right, so your solar noon is right here, Then your solar noon moves around to over here. It's going to come around. You're going to start seeing. See, this is, here's your solar noon. What's that?
I got a scripture for this.
Here comes your solar noon. Here comes your solar noon.
Ecclesiastes 1:5. The sun rises and the sun sets, and then it rushes back to the place where it rose and rises again. The sun rises and the sun sets, right? Over and over again. We're showing you exactly how this takes place.
And the thing is, we can do this on the tropics. We can do it at 45 degrees north. We can do it at 60 north. We can do it at 45 south. We can do it at 60 south. We can do this everywhere. We can show you actually where you can measure the shadows. You can go to a webcam, some live cam. You can watch sunrise, sunset, anywhere, any one of these latitudes, and you can double check and measure. And guess what? This is it. So it's not a 3,000 mile high sun traveling along this path. It's rising and setting around each and every observer like this. Like this.
Path under the earth, as it said in Enoch.
That's how it rises and sets. You know, we'll see if we have the opportunity to go through and debunk more of those timestamps that we found from that hangout that Jeranism just did. But, you know, none of them care. We'll find out who cares. Most people don't care. They just don't care.
They want Barabbas. Nobody wants the truth. Nobody wants the people that actually put the time in and do the research. They want to have their vain imaginations pleased. That's where we live. That's what it is. But everybody that showed up tonight, that's been with us, even Russian vids, I'm thankful for you guys. That's the truth from the bottom of my heart. This is not about attacking anybody. This has always been about simply just documenting the truth. And we have created what could be seen as enemies. But the only reason why we come out here and do this is for them, right? We know what the earth is. We know. We've measured this stuff. We're verifying it.
Well, and the thing is, we can debunk what they say it is. That's the real problem. So when we say we know what it is, we can show you everything that works.
Well, we verify.
We can't necessarily prove that this is the absolute. Where is it?
But it all works. It all measures correctly.
Yeah. Prove that this is the most accurate map of Earth. But it works, and the thing is we can debunk that your sun, moon, and stars are doing circles. That we can do.
Easily. And represent it correctly on the model that we bring. And you know what? At the end of the day, we just want the truth to be out there. If we can be corrected, we will be. Right? So until then, we'll continue to show people what we found. And we love to do it. It's fun. You know, I could go into the whole thing in the Book of Enoch. On that day, decreases, and I could show you guys and the different spots. And even Joshua, Yahawahashai, he commanded that the sun and the moon stop. Right? So how does that happen on a globe earth heliocentric model? Right? Wouldn't the earth be told to stop? No, it's because scriptures stood in the test of time and stated that the earth was fixed and immovable. And it's flat. Right? Now the scripture doesn't say the earth is flat, it does liken it unto a field. Right? The earth isn't perfectly flat. It has topography, right, which we can measure as well. But I think we've probably, done the best that we could tonight. I hope that we were able to edify people with actual observable, testable things, not fill your minds wide open and take you off into rabbit holes and donut, bunt, cake, coffee worlds. We want to show you guys an actual thing that you can test, that no scientist would dare even come close to debating us. Not one, not any single one. Brian Cox, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Carl Sagan, bring him back and we'll debate him. We'll debate anything.
Yeah, Mark Sargent, Jeran,
Stephen Hawking. We'll bring him in as soon as we go
David Weiss.
We bring up centripetal and centrifugal force. And
Jake the asshole, Kelsey Kerwin, Alex Stein.
They're not going to debate us. They even said in their own video, we don't care about the truth. We're here to have fun. We're here to be personalities. That's what they said, and let them have at it. Right. And they did edit a bunch of stuff out of the Baby Truther show. So that was good to see. But still, the lingering low vibrational spirit that these people cast, it doesn't leave. But we did what we did. We documented it. And again, I just want people to understand, follow your own heart, talk to the creator in your own heart. Don't just take Jason and I's word for anything we say. Do your own testing, do your own research. And, you know, hopefully you guys will join in on Sunday. We're going to be back at 8 p.m. Central on Sunday. We've got a really interesting podcast. We're going to be going over more heavenly signs, right? Talking about the stars again, and not about them being on some dome that you have to see through the sun in Russia to see them. No, we're going to talk about what you can see in your own circle of sight. If you go out at nighttime, and what we see is actually lining up with some very, very prophetic scriptures that very well could be being fulfilled this 5th, right? So I'm looking forward to Sunday.
All right, brother. Should we play out with that one video, or should we?
Yeah. The one we decided earlier. Yeah, stick with that, brother.
All right, so I'm going to take it back to our screen share. And this right here is a video that we stumbled on right before we went live. It's interesting because we're not TV watchers, but there was a show that we watched because we were just looking for, we like to find the stuff that parallels simulation. All right, this show did, and it also paralleled the end times. So a lot of times the Freemasons will put out some content where they have stuff heavily encoded. This show seems to have a whole bunch of it, and we're just going to leave you with this song tonight. We'll see you all Sunday night, this December 5th, right after the new moon sighting. So should be exciting. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Where did you hear this, brother?
Only on the Yahawahashai News Network.
Where is she?
It's the unanswered question. A mystery that needs to be solved. Help me escape, and she's yours.
I can't.
You can't. Do what I say, or you'll never get her back. Never see her again.
You've become everything we fought against. Staying with us.
This aircraft will begin to lose altitude in 1. Come on! Come on, get out of there! Please open the door! Please, come on!
Is this figure worth something?
Not leaving without you. Come on!
Kristen, go!
Good time.